survival mode.
Right.
And I use this analogy all the time. Somebody took you out in the Hudson River, God forbid, and threw you off a boat, right? You're not going to think, wow, these Gucci shoes, are these water resistant? Does this leather hold up on shitty? You're not thinking that. You're not thinking, did I leave the stove on? No, you're not thinking that. You're not thinking about, did I set my alarm clock for tomorrow? You're thinking of one thing, and that's breathing.
Right. That's right.
You're thinking of this, right or wrong. You throw someone off a boat, they're not going, oh shit. Right? They're like just trying to survive, right or wrong. Take a dog and throw them up. Right? Not that you want to do that. But you watch, they start paddling before they hit the water. You ever see that shit? Right? So what happens is that's how we are. Most of us physically, mentally are in this mode.
Right.
And then you hear a knucklehead like me come up here. You hear someone like Harvey come up. Oh, I got one. Thank you. Vodka? I got one. Thank you, though. But you listen to a knucklehead like me come up here and you're thinking, when I sat my meeting, I'm making 70 grand a year and I'm thinking, they start talking about making money. What would life be like? What? And I couldn't even fathom. I'm like, what would life be like if I could pay off my freaking credit card? What would life be like if I had extra money? Right? So it doesn't matter what you make. It's what's left over at the end of the month.
Right.
So I share that with you because my first year part-time, I was paid $18,000 and it changed my life. 18,000 friggin' shitty dollars, $1,500 a month. But I share this with you, and for 33 years, I got some guys, Uzio, Adelaide, Bill. These guys are in our base shop. We got a bunch of people in our Zoom from our Florida team. You guys, all I talk to people about every time I do an interview, I got some new players on here that are coming through the licensing process with us tonight. When I did their interview in my house, right, or in my office, you know what I talked to them about? $1,500 a month. What would $1,500 a month? You make 100 grand a year. What would an extra $1,500? Maybe make $250 a year. What would an extra $1,500 a month do for you? You're broke ass broke. What would $1,500 a month do for you, right or wrong? It doesn't matter. You're working 2 jobs, 3 jobs. You're in college. What would $1,500 a month do? Because if somebody put $1,500 into your checking account this month, accidentally, you're not getting up at 6 a.m. and calling the bank and saying, can you get this shit out of here? It's not mine, right or wrong? What's going to happen is you're going to hope they mess up next month and the month after and the month after, right or wrong? And so what it did for us was it allowed me to start paying off some credit card debt. So I was making 70, but I had 20-something thousand in credit card debt. So I started saving a little bit. I set up my first mutual fund, $25, and I started paying off some credit card debt. And all of a sudden, I saw I wasn't on track for financial independence, but I was on the friggin' train. You know what I mean? And you might not be on track, but the question is, are you on the train? Are you getting on the train? And so I looked at that as that was the first time in my life, Rory, that I said, man, I got a shot to pay off some debt, man. I got a shot to save money. I don't know if I could ever get financially independent, but I know if I just listen to what they said and the concepts of what we do for people, and I follow that guy, Joe Enser, it's impossible to fail. You understand? And so what I did is my second year, I made $26,000, did not quit my job. I'll never forget in the op meeting, Joe Enser says, if I could show you how to make more money part-time than you're making full-time, would you quit your job? I was like, I didn't believe any of that. And I didn't quit. Second year, 26,000. Didn't quit my job. Third year, I made $75,000 part-time, and I made $70,000. I was making $70,000 in my full-time job. I made $75,000 part-time here. Made more money part-time than I was making full-time, and I didn't quit my job. You know why? I was a liar. I said, yeah, I'd do it. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh shit, I can't do this. What if I run out of people? And what I realized is it's impossible. I've been doing this now 33 years. I've never made a cold call. I've never knocked on doors. I never went up to people I didn't know and go, I don't know, you know. Yeah, I never did any of that, right? 100% of the people I've ever done business with, recruited with, was referred by somebody else. And when you show someone how to save, you know that it's for save money versus spending money, you have more places than you have time to. How many of you like getting the thing that says robocall? How many like getting the thing where it just pops up? I hate getting cold call, and I never did it. And by the way, I never will. Now, by the way, if I joined Primerica today, I moved to Florida, didn't know one person in Florida. We got a team of people in Florida. I'll talk to everybody. I was playing golf the other day. I got the guy's name and number. He's coming to a meeting tomorrow night. Right? I'll talk to. I was on the plane coming back from Montana, and I flew commercial, and I was sitting next to this guy on the plane. The guy was sitting there. The guy lives in Rockland County. He says, he goes, dude, what kind of ring is that? I played with the Giants. I don't like to talk about it, right? And we start talking, right? And we start bullshitting back and forth. What do you do to do it? The guy goes, man, could you teach me more about what? So I got that guy's name. Now, I didn't get on the plane and go, I'm going to find someone to recruit, right? Like, all I'm saying, I'll talk to the wall if it talks back, because I love what we do and I know I add value. But I've never got up and made a cold call. I've never knocked on doors, never did any of that stuff. Why? Because when you show someone how to save money versus spending money, you got more place to go than you have time to. Let me tell you what happens is in life, you max out at burnout. So we're not in the financial services business. We're in a financial distribution. We're not multi-level marketing. And people think we are. And if you start Googling that, you'll see it's not going to say that anymore going forward. But I will tell you what we are. We're in a leverage marketing business. And there's 24 hours in a day. And the only way to create more leverage is you need more hours. How do you put more hours in a day? By having more people, right? You know, when you see the rule of 72 and it says 3%, 6%, and 12%, you don't need a freaking presentation to tell you that 12% is better than 3%. But most people don't realize it's 2.5 million better on a $10,000 investment. Well, we're investors. We're all investors. I don't care if we're broke, we don't have a lot of money. It doesn't matter how much money you got in your pocket. You're an investor of time. You got 24 hours in your day, and I got 24 hours in my day. How we invest our time and energy is going to get you financially independent. And it doesn't matter if your family's wealthy, or it doesn't matter if you went to Harvard or Yale. It matters if you leverage your time. And then after you start leveraging your time, then you'll leverage your income. You'll leverage your money. Folks, the thing I'm proud about is we made $5 million, $10.99 for Primerica. We made more than $5 million outside of Primerica. I don't have any other businesses. It's off the interest and the growth of my investments. That, to me, is two things that work: people or money. I was broke. I didn't have a lot of money, but I knew a lot of people. The average 30-year-old person knows 1,100 people. I don't know anybody. Well, who don't you know? Let's go see them, right? Like, people know people. Who's on social media? Who's on Instagram, right? I'm on Instagram, right? My daughter hates the fact that I'm on Instagram, right? And she hates the fact that I got more followers than her, about like 10,000 more. But the fact is, I'm on Instagram. I don't know anybody. I go, are you on Instagram? They go, yeah. I go, how many followers? 500. You got 500 people that know you, you know them. Facebook, people have another 500, right? 1,000, right? So you pull up your phone, you look at your phone, you see how many people you got on your phone. The average person has hundreds, if not thousands of people. So any one of those, you grab any one of those people and say, who do you know that's motivated, ambitious, wants to go through something special in your life, unlike you? No, you don't say that, but you think of it. It's not who you know, it's who you know knows. Does that make sense? So what happens is we think so small, there's such a huge opportunity out there. Right? Our fourth year, we made $147,000 part-time. That year, we quit our job and came full-time. I struggled with every part. Like, you look at Harvey, he's up here, he tucks his t-shirt into his underwear now. He's got his tie on, his jacket, like he looks professional. That's not how he walked into the business. Right? That's not how he was. They cleaned him up. They powdered his puff. They put a little honey on his stinger, a little dew on his lily. He looks different now. But that's him self-improving. That's years of experience. That's him building confidence and competence. Right or wrong? Right. I struggled. I failed the test. Right? I didn't have a guy, Carl, like that. Somebody Carl's like, I'm help people coach. You know who my coach was? My coach is Joe Enser. And I was like, Joe, I failed the test. He's like, man up, bitch, take it again. Right? Like, where's that in the notes? Right? Like, I failed the test. He's like, well, go take it again. And I was like, I remember one time I go, Joe, I got to charge back. He's like, you know what that means? You got to charge back. Get to work. Son of a bitch. I'm like, there was no training. There was no. So all I'm saying, we didn't have the systems in place like we have right now. I failed the pre-test 3 times. I failed the life test 3 times, and I cheated. I failed I failed the 6 to 63. I failed every test, right? Pap smear. I failed every test, right? But what I realized was I said this the other day, we can mess up every part of this business. You can mess up talking to people, which I've done. You can mess up relationship. You can mess up every part of this thing except one thing is quitting. So one thing is quitting. See, every single person has a shelf life. You buy a piece of fish, there's a certain amount of time you could leave that fish in your refrigerator before you got to cook it, eat it, or throw the crap out. You buy a fresh tomato, a fresh piece of fruit. That thing, all of a sudden, a mango. I like mangoes. I got a mango tree in my house in Florida. Those things ripen up, right? But after a certain time, they ripen. And all of a sudden, you throw that crap out, right or wrong. We all have a shelf life. Now, some of our shelf life might be 1 year. Some of them might be 2 years. Some might be 5 years. You know how you increase your shelf life? Success. So Joe Enser said to me early on, well, how do you have success? I saw my out meeting December 1987. I didn't get my license till April 1988. You know how much money I made my first 5 months? Zero. So how do you see success? But I saw people go from A to B. There was no field training reimbursement. Now you do 1 by 1, 200, right? You get an extra 100 if you do it in 30. Yeah, we had guys that were passing out bonuses, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. You know what I got? Right? They owe me money, this company, right? No, so what happens is I looked at the process, but it raised our belief level. And so we struggle with everything. The only thing I realized, man, if I don't quit, it's impossible to fail. And I use this example on Saturday, and I use it a lot. You know what Harvey has created for you guys? And I said this when I did his conference call, a Zoom call. He's created what success is supposed to look like, and all you've got to do is copy. And every time you challenge it or have a question about it, you've got leaders in the room. You got, Hannon Sherwood, you got RVPs, Rory, you got RVPs, Colin Jodell, you got RVPs that have come through that same process that started at not the bottom, started from the bottom now. They started at the beginning, right? Started at the beginning of the process. And I use this analogy, right? You ever do a crossword puzzle, which I hate, right? You dump them on the kitchen table, there's 8,000 pieces, and you're like, oh, all right, let's start. All right. And then you try to find, you're looking for the colors. It sucks, right? Now, every piece goes somewhere. You just don't know where it goes yet. Then you're looking at the piece. It might be a ship or something, right? And you're looking at it's hard to do, even though there's a picture of it. But how have you took the picture of what it's supposed to look like and you got rid of it? Possible, hard as hell. I think what Harvey's created is the picture of what it's supposed to look like. And by the way, one thing I will never apologize, our business is not easy. It's definitely not easy, but it's simple. It's not easy, but the cool thing is every single one of you can do it. Let me tell you what I'm not. I'm not a fast runner. I can't run. I was running the other day and someone goes, wow, you're really slow. I go, that's why I learned to fight. Shit happens, I got your back, right? We're going to run. I ain't run. I'm going to turn around and knock you out. I can't run fast, right? I can't sing for hell. I can't sing. You could tell me, man, you sing, we'll cut a couple albums, you rap, you produce. That ain't me. I can't play music. Right? I can't shoot basketballs, right? I'm not a professional athlete. I played at Michael Jordan's golf course, actually Super Bowl weekend. MJ was there, bought us some drinks, right? That dude, best basketball, I don't know, I'm not going to get controversial, but I think best basketball player that's ever walked planet Earth, okay? That dude's a freak. He's actually a pretty good golfer. He's actually a good dude, too. He's a good guy. You can tell me that he's worth $1 billion that Jumpman makes every year, right? It's just crazy what that dude's worth, what he's built, okay? You can tell me that all day long. I'm never going to be MJ. I'm never going to be a good singer. You tell me all I got to do is learn the questions to the answers and the answers to the questions. All you got to do is plug people through the system. Our business is caught, not taught. No one's going to teach you the business. You're going to learn the business. And where I struggled for a while was trying to figure out how to teach people the process. So I'm going to see if I can share my screen with you. I don't need these. They just make me look smart. I'm going to see if I can share this screen with you guys for a second. Screen share. Start my broadcast. And I'm going to share something for some of the newer people. And a lot of you have seen this before, and it's basic stuff. But my feeling is I keep things simple. And if it's simple, is that going to pop up? Is it? It's on here and it's on there, but it's not on there. Do I have to do the Apple thing?
Oh, yeah. He's going to share the screen. Share the screen.
Okay. Two guys walk into a bar. Guy's got a pat. No. All right. So why Primerica, right? Why Primerica? Well, one of the things is when you look, that's what it says. Why Primerica? One of the things about Primerica is why would you join this business? And I say it all the time, right? There's a lot of reasons that people could have not to, but I'm going to give you some reasons why you should. And every time I recruit somebody, we've recruited tons of people in the last 33 years. When I recruit people, I don't work to this day, we recruit people. I don't recruit somebody into Primerica to sell them on how great Primerica is, that they should try it. What I always do is talk to them about, I tell the Primerica story. And I say all the time, you asked me this earlier. I said, we got to tell the Primerica story. What's the Primerica story? The opportunity meeting is the Primerica story. The kitchen table appointments, the Primerica story. Your napkin presentation, the conversation you have at Starbucks, you tell the Primerica. I don't tell my story. I tell the Primerica story. The Primerica story is you bring people to come see us, or you bring us to come see people. And 1 out of 4 people that you tell the Primerica story to is going to join. If you've got 4 guests in that op meeting next door, 1's going to join. If you've got 40 guests in that op meeting, 10 are going to join. Now, I wish I could tell you 3 out of 4 join, 4 out of 4 join. Ain't going to happen. How many believe in God? I believe in God. He didn't get them all. Who are you and I? We get so frustrated. And it's 1 out of 4. It's 1 out of 4, whether they went to college or not. It's 1 out of 4. Somebody just said to me again today, I've heard this 5 million times. Keith, I want you to meet someone while you're in town. The guy's a really sharp dude I just recruited. You know how many sharp people are? I go, what do you mean? He has a pointy head? What do you mean he's sharp? Like, what does that mean? Listen, I don't care how you tuck your teeth or you pull your pantyhose up, right? We're all the same. Some people think they're better, but I don't care if you're tall, short, black, white, male, female, both. Doesn't matter. Every one of us is created equal. Yet, some of us will go do more based upon what we have. So why you join Primerica, the first reason you should join, I say, is the advantages of learning about the financial education. Mm-hmm. See, why is it that we do an op meeting or a presentation and no one's heard of the Rule of 72? Right. No one knows what kind of insurance. No one knows how to invest. 1 out of 4 people own mutual funds because 3 out of 4 don't understand how they work. So the one is you get a tremendous, tremendous education. The second, if you can't do it, I'll just do it. I don't need to show it. I'll just talk it. It's fine. Hook up a brother, man. I got you. It's all right. I'm not going to share my screen. I'm just going to tell you what it says. All right. So the first thing is you get an education on money. Listen, whether I ever see you again or Primerica ever sees you again, ever, let me tell you one thing that we all need, not want, need an education on how money works. Right? Think about it. There's things that we're going to know, not be good at. There's one thing that you and I we all have to have money to provide. Money is a vehicle for you and I to accomplish what we need to accomplish. If it's putting a roof over your head, taking care of your kids, and people go to me all the time, well, money's not everything. I've heard that 1,000 times. And I always go, well, then give me all yours if it's not everything. It's food, shelter, and freedom. And bottom line is when you have a lot of money, it means nothing to you. Money's everything for people that are broke. Go make a lot of money. Go save a lot of money. Go take care of your family. Do the right things. And then money becomes nothing to you. And that's what it's supposed to be. Money is it's an intangible, right or wrong. So the first thing you got to get is you got a financial education. That's why people need to join here. Second thing you need to have, and I've been saying this for years, and you know what last year is a commercial for what I'm going to talk about right now, is having a spare tire. My driver's outside waiting for me to go. He drove me here. I would never get in a car. If the guy goes, hey, listen, I have this car, but I got no spare tire. Where are we heading? Nowhere with you, right or wrong. Would you ever drive in a car from here to Florida with no spare tire? What do you do? If your tire pops, you pull over and wait for it to grow back. Like there's no way. So you would never drive in a car without a spare tire, right? Ever. But why would you drive around life without a spare tire? What if those of you that have been on the job or working for 5, 8, 10, 12, 15 years, you go to work tomorrow and they say your job, your company's out of business. what do? You sit back and wait for them to call you back. See, you ever drive down the street and there's a roadblock and it says detour and there's a roadblock and there's stuff built, right? You can't go. What do? You just park and wait for them to finish? You ever see where it says completed in August of 2021? You're like, shit, I'll wait till August, right? No, you back up and you readjust, right or wrong. We need a spare, and I've been saying this for years in every interview we do. And you know what 2020 brought to our attention? You need a spare tire. When unemployment went from 3% to 28%. So everybody needs a spare tire. Tax benefits. I don't care what side of the spectrum. I don't care if you're a Republican, if you're a Democrat. I don't really care if you voted or not, right? Doesn't matter to me. My politics is just business, okay? But the tax benefits, when you look at the government has created a situation that looks like this. If you're an employee, folks, you make money, you pay taxes before you get your money. You know, your take home, they say there's gross, which is usually gross, but there's gross and take home. Your gross pay minus your taxes is your net pay. So every company that pays an employee has your paycheck. They take the taxes first, and then you get whatever's left over. If you're an employer and you're a business owner and you own your own company, then what happens is you make money. I can share?
You can share from there.
Okay.
On the Zoom and it'll come up.
You bet your ass it will.
I mean, you don't get that
Let me
expertise
see.
without knowing this shit.
Am I on for Zoom? Hold on. No, hold on 1 second. Here, I'm back on Zoom. Stay focused here. Not now. What's UFC? What's going on here?
That's a nice picture.
Holy
You
shit.
can't see that.
It's you porn. See if that works here.
That one's a good. All right.
Look at you, Harvey goes on overrides, this guy. All right, he knows who he is. All right. So spare tire, right? So you get a spare tire. The second thing is tax benefits. An employee makes money, pays taxes, spends whatever's left over. An employer or a business owner makes money, spends money. It's called a tax deduction. Makes money, spends money, and then pays taxes on what's left over. A lot of people get frustrated. They go, oh, you know, the rich don't pay taxes. That's not true. Rich people pay taxes if they have a job. They pay taxes, it comes right out. Oh, rich people own their own business, don't pay a lot of tax. They do. They pay, listen, I spend over $1 million a year in taxes. I spend money on taxes. I pay more tax. People go, you don't pay, rich people don't pay. I should. I pay more than you and your whole family, I bet, right? But we pay less taxes as business owners than if, well, let's keep it simple. This is not a tax evasion class here, okay? If you make $100,000 at a job, or you make $100,000 with a W-2 or $100,000 with a 1099, it's not equal. Because there's things like write-offs. If you have a job, you can't write off travel. If you have a job, you can't write off entertainment. If you have a job, there's things you can't do. I was in Montana last week, and one of the guys that was there was a client of mine. So during the 4 or 5 day trip, I look at him, I go, how's your investments doing? He goes, good. I go, write off. I get to write the trip off because it was a business trip. You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay, legally. If I fly private, I'm flying private home. If I charter a jet or own a plane, I get to write that off. If I work for a company, I can't write that off. Now, I'm just saying, there's, well, people go, oh, if you're wealthy, right? No, it's not about, it's business owners. By the way, you found a business, you know what IBA stands for? Independent Business Agreement. You're an independent agent. You don't get a 1099, you don't get a W-2, you get a 1099. Now, I don't get up in the op meeting and say you should join the business for the tax advantages, but it doesn't suck. And I went to a seminar years ago in the Meadowlands. Years ago, 20 years ago, and the guy got up, he used to work for the IRS, and there was 10,000 people in the audience. And he got up and he said, every single one of you that's listening to me right now needs to be a business owner. And if you don't own a business, don't let tomorrow go by that you don't start one. He says, I worked for the IRS for years. And the government tax structure is set up, and it's been like this for years, and it's not going to change. It's set up that if you're a business owner, you have tax advantages. This business is a tremendous opportunity. You're going to pay your taxes, but you're also going to have some advantages for some tax write-offs, right? Financial education, we talked about that. Owning your own business. I know this. When you own your own business, you don't have to ask for vacation days. My wife and I were driving to the office yesterday, and she says, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to Europe next month? Do you want to go to Greece? We're having conversations. We're going to go. I said, hold on, let me call the boss. So I go, hey, Keith, yes. Can you take off the second week in August? No, you have a policy delivery, right? What happens is you and I get to choose what we do when you own your own business. You know what else doesn't happen? You don't get fired from yourself. You don't get put on furlough. I never heard that term until COVID, right? Furlough. Someone's like, I got furlough. I'm like, dude, watch your mouth, right? Like, not in front of women, you don't talk like that. Passive income. Passive income. You get passive income. You get massive passive income. You get tremendous residual income. See, making money is good, but you know how many times I've had people say, hey, Keith, can you talk to this guy who makes good money? And just so you know, good money is relative. It's subjective. See, when I was making $70,000 a year, I meet a guy and I go, and I was like, that guy makes $150,000. That guy makes good money. Now, if somebody says to me, hey, I got this guy come down. He's really sharp with a pointy head, and he makes big money. I was like, oh, what does he make? And he's like, oh, he makes like $175,000. So I'm like, a week? He goes, no. He makes $175,000 a year. Oh, that's not big money. It's big money when you're making $75,000. But if Harvey tried to live on $170,000, he'd be broke. It's only big money if it's in comparison. Does that make sense? How about this? People go, I make good money. I go, do you have to work for it? Well, shit, that ain't good. See, good money is if you don't have to show up. Watch, if I don't show up tomorrow, Harvey says, oh, I don't know what Keith makes. Well, I'll tell you, between $15,000 and $20,000 a day. Snow days, holidays, quarantine days, dirty boy days. It doesn't matter. Any 7 days a week, 20, that's the way it works. That's our process, right? That's massive passive income. You get residual income. There's opportunities, especially when you get your RBP contract, you make one transaction, you get paid for the rest of your life and growing. How cool is that? So there's a huge opportunity. So I'm gonna wrap up with this, okay? And I'm gonna kind of wind down with this. When you look at what we do for people, let me go back. Where's my these guys messing with my computer here? Put all my dirty pictures away. So let me close this out. I'm gonna share something with you. Probably getting you dizzy here. I'm going to go through just rapid fire of fundamentals. How am I doing with time, brother? All right. Rapid fire fundamentals. So the thing that we got to have is guys, I'll get you out of here. I'll get you out of here by tomorrow, I promise. Maybe tomorrow night, but definitely tomorrow. I'm only kidding. Get you out of here in a little bit. You got to have focus, okay? You got to be focused. You take sunlight. You take sunlight, and people go, I was playing golf the other day, and my brother goes, oh, it's really hot. Yeah, it is hot in comparison to what I live in Florida. This is like winter, right? I mean, but it's hot. You take that sun, and you can get a tan, a sunburn. You feel the heat, it makes you sweat. You take that same sun and you get a magnifying glass, and you position it properly, you can catch the paper on fire. Why? Because it's focused. If you want to be successful, you've got to be focused the same way that light gets focused to create fire. Does that make sense? You got to have a system. Now, it's not you don't have to have a system. Primerica has a system. How about this? I still believe, even though this country's been crazy the last 10, 15, 20 years, I still believe we're the greatest country on planet Earth. I really believe that. And which is why people want to come here, right? My grandparents were not born in this country. And some of your grandparents were not. Some of you weren't born in this country. Nobody was born in this country unless you're American Indian. They took their friggin' land from those people. But it's sad. But the fact of the matter is, this is the greatest country on planet Earth. I truly believe this is the greatest company in the greatest country. And I think we've got the greatest system in place. And if you look at what Harvey and this team has created, You got to have a system, but it's not having a great system. It's following the system. It's plugging into the system. It's being coachable to the system. Does that make sense? And then the last thing is discipline. You got to be focused. But if you don't follow the system, then you're just focused. Actually, you're not focused, you're focused. You're fucking focused, right? So you got to be focused. You've got to follow the system, and then you've got to be disciplined. Discipline, to me, what is the term discipline mean, right? Discipline is doing the things you're supposed to do, whether you want to do them or not. Like, it's so funny. I have people sometimes they'll attribute, oh, Keith's very disciplined. I'm actually not disciplined, but I do the things I'm supposed to do so I can do the things I want to do. Does that make sense? Like, people go, oh, I don't like to sleep in. I love to sleep in. I like to get up in the morning and not have to get out of bed. I love that. People go, oh, I don't like to watch TV. I love to watch TV. When I watch TV, I don't even have to talk. I just sit there and veg out. People go, oh, I don't like, I like that. I like lounge. I lazy people. I'm lazy. Who's lazy? Some of you too lazy to raise your hand. You're lazy too, right? So all I'm saying is but you got to be disciplined. Discipline is doing the things you're supposed to do, whether you want to do them or not. Right? How about a mom that just gives birth to a child? I'm tired. Shit, feed yourself. Right on. Change your own diaper. You're 3 years old. Didn't you learn this stuff? Yeah, you saw me do this twice. Like, what happens is mothers don't get sick days. Hardest job on planet Earth, right or wrong. Mothers don't get sick days. Right. Well, I don't feel good. You do it anyway. It's the same thing in our business, right? You got to be disciplined, right? So let's go through it. Focus, system, and discipline. Once you've got that in place, and you do, then you got to develop a market, right? You got to develop a market. By the way, you don't just develop, we have brand new people develop a market. I guarantee you today, you met somebody, talked to somebody, were introduced to somebody you never met before in your life, or saw somebody that you never met before in your life. Every day you're going to meet people. I played golf last week with a few guys, 2 guys I never met before in my life. And these guys text me now every day. Like, we're buddies, right? You're going to meet people every single day. So it's not about developing a market. It's about developing a market and continuing to grow and building those outlets, right or wrong. Getting people up, right? Success checklist or a fast start plan or whatever system you guys are using, have that process to stay on it. This way it keeps you on track. I love that analogy that Harvey was using when I walked in about copying, basically copying the master copy. See, a duplicate of a duplicate of a copy of a copy of a duplicate of a copy of a duplicate is a mess, right? If you took a picture of, that's a mess. But if you took a picture of this, and then you took a picture of the picture, and then you took a picture, you ever see someone send you a picture? Oh, this is my baby picture. It's like a picture of, that's you, right? You get a mustache at 2, right? Like, what happens is it changes, it gets distorted, right? Fast start bonus, which is really a field training bonus right now, but a field training bonus, right? That's got to be, well, if you're not licensed, you got to get your field training bonus. If you are licensed, who are you taking through the process to get their field training bonus? It's monkey see, monkey do, copying and repeating and copying and repeating. Promotions to district. If you're not a district, you got to get your district contract. But we have a financial interest in 471 regional vice presidents. I'm here to tell you, I've never promoted a vice president, ever. And I don't know how to. I promoted myself. How'd you promote yourself? I studied in the vice president guide. I sat through the vice president meeting and I became a vice president. No, I promoted a district and then I promoted another district. Before I did that, I got my district contract. So I said, just do what I'm doing. And then I promoted another district. And then all of a sudden, boom, I got promoted to division, right? Then I got promoted to regional leader. How do you go to RVP? Get 6 direct districts. Go get 10 or 15 or 12 because people wean you out, don't they? Right? So what happens is all of a sudden I recruited a couple more people, and all of a sudden I got my RVP contract. I have people say, when are you going to promote me to RVP? I'm like, watch your mouth. I'm not promoting you. You're going to promote yourself. How cool is that? Imagine I used to go to my boss. I need to make more money. I need a pay raise. He goes, I know, me too. He goes, yeah, well, imagine if he goes, well, hey, you want a pay raise? Just give yourself a pay raise whenever you want. I would have given myself a raise every day.
Right.
When I joined Primerica, they go, you know what's so great about the system is you promote yourself. You want to go to district division, you promote yourself. You don't wait for your 6-month annual review. You can review that crap tonight and straighten it out tomorrow, right? Promotions, qualified production. I'm just going to throw numbers at you. To go to district, you need to be doing about 2,500 premium. So that as a senior rep, you want to be doing 2,500 a premium, 3 by 2,500. If you're a district, you want to be doing 5 by 5, heading towards division. If you're a regional leader, right, to go to regional leader, right, you got to do 7,500 a premium. Well, to go to division, you got to do 5,000. So if you're a division, you should be talking about 7,500. If you're a regional leader, you should be focusing on 10 by 10. If you're an RVP, which is what we were talking about earlier, guys, want to be doing 20 by 20 and 30 by 30. Why? Because that's when you start. You can't produce RVPs. I'm jacked about our base shop. We did 50,000 2 months in a row on our little ragtag Army base shop, right? Right? Because but that's some RVPs getting ready to pop out. That's what I look at. I don't care about it. I don't need a base shop to make money. I do it because I want to promote RVPs. If it kills me, I'm going to do it, right? We're going to promote some RVPs, and that's got to become the focus. Stock. You understand when you get promoted, future regional leaders, future RVPs get stock. And you don't get it until you get your contract.
Right.
Then when you're an RVP, we have people that are getting $12,000, $15,000 worth of stock given to them. There was no stock. I got like stock in chicken soup when I joined. It's crazy shit. One-on-one interviews. You got to master the one-on-one interviews. So how do you master that? How do you learn a song? You hear a song right now on the radio. You don't, oh, that's cool. Who sings this? Who's that? All of a sudden, you catch yourself singing a song. All of a sudden, you hear a song like maybe 30 years later, 5 minutes of funk. This ain't no jungle, pull your bottoms off the tree. You hear some Houdini from the 80s, right? But you hear shit. You hear, I like 80s hip hop. But you listen to something from 30 years ago. I hear it on the radio. All of a sudden, I'll never forget. I was at a my daughter's 13th birthday party. All her little friends are out there, and all of a sudden DJ's playing something. He goes, oh, we got some old school Michael Jackson. So all the girls ran out on the dance floor. So I hop out because I think I can dance. I'm doing splits and shit, right? I'm out there doing split. And all of a sudden, it was Pretty Young thing. Right? That's all PYT, Pretty Young thing. You need to love it, loving care. I need to love. Anyway, so I was doing this, and my daughter's like, Dad, this is embarrassing, right? Like, she didn't talk to me for 3 days. 3 days. And then she didn't say one word to me for 3 days. She was so embarrassed. I'm out there with little girls dancing, right? So she's like, Dad, this is embarrassing. You embarrassed me on my birthdays in front of everybody. And so 3 days later, I go, Dominique, are you going to talk to me now? She goes, I have one thing to say. How did you even know that song, right? Like, because it was an old song, but you hear something over and over and over again, you remember, right? So one-on-one interview, if you don't know how to do it, you watch people do it until you hear it over and over and over again. Referrals. The more competent and the more confident you get, the referrals aren't just accepted, they're expected, right? Listen, if I said to you, where do you live? If I said, where's a good pizzeria by where you live? You would say, oh, good Chinese. Would you call them and say, hey, I have somebody coming here. Can I get a half a slice for free because I referred somebody? You'd refer me. If I'm driving down the street, where's the nearest gas station? You go. The nearest gas station is you go up to the next light and make a right. Is there a Starbucks? Oh, yeah, Starbucks. All right. You refer people for that crap, and you refer somebody to save their financial future? F&A. Watch your mouth. F&A. Utilize the system. Wow, how much should I have? You go, how much should I have for retirement? You look like a lot. How much insurance do I need? $1 billion? I don't know. But if I gather information, I do an F&A, it tells you specifically what you need. Closing business. Learning how to close business. How do you learn how to close? You watch people do it, and you close. The best way to learn how to close business is you say these little words. What's the best way to set up an IBA? You don't go, so what do you think? That's not what you say. Best way to close. So why don't we at least just get you started? Start talking about mutual funds. Why don't we at least just get you started? Talk about the business. Why don't we at least get you started? You got to learn how to close through the process. You're not selling somebody something they don't need. You're selling them something that they need and usually they want. You're not selling rudders for ducks' asses, right? You ever see a rudder in the back of a duck's ass? We don't sell shit, right? People used to ask me all the time, what do you guys sell? Well, we sell rudders for ducks' asses. You ever see the back of an ass? Anyway, prospecting. Prospecting, we're in a marketing business. Prospecting, every single day you should be prospecting. You got to get up with the attitude every single day. Who am I going to meet today?
Right.
Who am I going to talk to today? Who's going to refer me to somebody that in 30, 60, 90 days from now, I can get them licensed and competent direct to me? Who am I going to talk? I don't care if it's a mutual fund. I don't care if it's a kitchen table appointment, if it's a prepaid legal, if it's a life transaction, if it's an end of term. I don't care what you're talking to us about. Who can you lead me to that in 30, 60, 90 days? The mentality is I'm looking for a few people. I want a few people. You're looking for a few people that I could teach how to make an extra $1,000 or $1,500 a month. Who do you know is sharp, ambitious, motivated, right? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? You're going to get referred to the top of this business just by asking people. But if you don't talk to somebody, the answer is always no. You got to build directs. Now you see this right here in red, new directs. New directs. You need to build new directs. Yeah, you got to build directs. And then your directs are going to build directs, which is how they go to the next level. But you've got to continue to build new directs. New directs. Listen, I mentioned the football players from the Giants from the 80s. Some of the older guys in here heard of them. The Giants, the Knicks, right? The Yankees, if they're still playing with guys from the 80s, they're screwed. They are screwed. When I was younger, Don Mattingly was the first baseman. When I was a plumber, I put a bathroom in his house. That was my claim to fame. But Don Mattingly lived in Tenafly, New Jersey, on County Road. Don Mattingly was the first baseman, right? Reggie Jackson played for that dude. Yeah, but he played for the Yankees. Right? But those guys, those guys right now, they're not playing.
Right.
They're not playing. Muhammad Ali, before he died, I met Muhammad Ali twice, once at a fast art school. I brought him into the fast art school. But Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest boxers of all time, before he died, he couldn't fight.
Right.
Right or wrong? So you look at the process, we need new players, right or wrong? Double digit.
That's right.
Watch. You need a license to do life business. You need a license to do securities. You need a license to do news. Let me tell you, you don't need a license to recruit.
Right.
We have people every single month in our organization. We recognized people last month and you were down in neighbors. You had people come across the stage that double digit recruited that weren't even freaking licensed. You know what they did? They invited and introduced. They invited and introduced. 2 eyes, invite and introduce. That's what you've got to do. Invite and introduce until you got that competency level down. Double digit. Don't let this month, let me back up. Harvey's got a goal for you guys as a team to do a minimum of 200 recruits, right? Every single one of you could do 200 recruits if every single one of you got in the game. We got 50 people in the room. We got a bunch of leaders that aren't even here because they're out of state or out of the area right now. But if every single person in here focused on double-digit recruiting, we have people like Doris Chow, who's in the meeting with us from Florida. Her team is double-digit recruited in a day before. Some of you, what's double-digit recruiting? It's 10 recruit. It's 3 directs. Everyone could recruit 3 people between now and month end, and then teach 3 people how to introduce people. They go, oh, I couldn't. He goes, who's got guests here tonight? Rockstar over here sitting here because he's got 4 or 5 guests in the meeting. Some of you go, oh, how did he do that? I guarantee he talked to more than 4 or 5 people. Right. People go, I don't know if I could do that. Well, if I gave you $10,000 to put 4 or 5 guests in a meeting, you'd have 50. I've never met a person who go, listen, we'll give you 10 grand, pennies. We'll give you we'll give you $10,000 if you put 5 people sit in that meeting next week. We'll give you, I'm just giving you an analogy, right? We did that. Let me tell you what you wouldn't hear from anyone. What do I say? You wouldn't hear that. You wouldn't hear this. Who do I talk to? That's what people say, right? You say, hey, well, I don't know who to talk to. I don't know what to say, which is why I had no guests in the meeting. Really? Well, if you gave me 10 grand, put 5 people, this place ain't big enough, right? What if I put 10, right? Like, what happens is it's here. It's the 6 to 8 inches between our ears. For some of us, 12, right? We got to change that thought process. Team attendance. Right? It's great that the team's winning, but is everyone on the team winning?
Right.
We got to make that decision. rallying people to an event. You got to say, how many people do you have in this meeting tonight? How many you got on Zoom tonight? How many do you have that are direct to you tonight? Are we going to grow next month? You want to have a great July? You want to have a great second half? Kick ass in the month of July. If you want to have a kick ass July, you got to finish up the rest of this month with momentum. If I'm playing in a sporting event, if I'm playing basketball and we're going into the half with momentum, then we're going to continue that momentum. Now, you don't have to have momentum, but it helps to have it, right? When I used to fight, you have momentum going in a fight, it continues to go. Power hours. I know you guys do this, right? Minimum once a week, but are you plugged into it? Are you rallying people there? Are you maxing out your opportunity with that? Self-improvement. What is self-improvement? That means every single day. I listen to Harvey talk. I say, man, that dude's self-improved now. I listen to people talk, and I say, man, that dude or that dude-ess is out of shape. You ever see a guy or a girl who's in great shape, and maybe they're on the beach or they're in the gym or whatever, and they're in really good shape, and you look at them and go, wow, that guy's in pretty good shape, or she's in good shape, or whatever. Oh, they must exercise. Right. The same way you look at somebody physically, I can listen to someone talk in 5 seconds. I can say they're out of shape. Mm-hmm. Not physically, mentally. Right. How about this? The same way you can, listen, I'm 228 pounds. I'm not the best shape in my life, but I'm 228 pounds. When I fought, I was at 205. If you look at old pictures of me, I was 275. I wasn't preferred plus, let's just say. Not because I was heavy, I was too short. I should have been 9 foot tall. I would have been preferred, right? But I lost 50 or 60 pounds. How did I do it? By exercising, by eating right, by doing the right things with my diet, right? How did I get heavy? By eating wrong, it didn't happen overnight. I had a big meal. Holy shit, put on 62 pounds, right? That's not what happens. It's continually doing the wrong things, but then you continue to do the right things and you get in shape. It's the same way. By the way, self-improvement means your ass needs to improve. We've got to improve. If we want to get better, then we've got to get better. Right. Coachability, staying plugged in, following the process. People, it's the greatest company on planet Earth. Well, not if you don't follow the system. It is our business works 100% of the time if you work it. I did that one time, an attorney in a meeting goes, you can't say that. So I get up next time, I go, our business works 100% of the time if you work it. And they said, I can't say it, but I just said it. Because our business does work. Watch, if I drop this phone, it's going down. I'm yelling. No, it's going down, right? It's going down. Why? Because it's gravity. That's a constant. You're never going to drop the phone. It goes up unless there's a tornado or a hurricane. It goes down. It's the same way. If you show up and you work hard and you do the right things, your time and energy, you're going to win here. No, well, not in the beginning if you say the wrong things, but eventually you'll say the wrong things and you'll get the wrong results. So you'll make some adjustments. Making money, being profitable, having a good quality of business. Those are things that if you copy the right things, you'll get the right results. You with me? Being independent and a team player. You want to be independent, but you need to be a team player. I want every one of our leaders to be independent. I said to Harvey, wow, is this the same office I was at? It looks different. He goes, no, dude, this is the same office you're at. He goes, the problem is it's been over a year since you've been here. And you want to know something? I ain't coming back for a year either, right? Like, how cool is it if Harvey is a team player, but he's independent, right? Chris Achung is a team player, but he's independent, right? All of our leaders are independent team players. Right. Now, if you're independent and you're an island, you're never going to grow. Right. Why? Because you're not following me. No one follows me. They're following this direction that we're heading in, which is the company system. But if they're on their own, then people are going to do exactly what they do. People copy what they see, not what they hear. Growth, you got to grow. Every single day, you've got to focus on growth. Month over month, quarter over quarter, year over year, you've got to grow. RVP promotions. RVP promotions. You've got to make a decision when you leave here tonight. I'm going to get my RVP promotion. Maybe it's going to be, there's not a person that's listening to right now, I don't care if you're licensed yet, that can't be an RVP in 6 months. Now, I will tell you, not everybody's going to be an RVP in 6 months. And I will never get up in front of a room and say, I guarantee everybody in this room is going to be an RVP in 6 months. But I'll guarantee every single one of you could be a vice president in 6 months if you did the right things with your time and energy. The future jersey. right? You get your future jerseys. You put yourself in a position. What you're doing is you get your future jerseys. You're maxing out your compensation. You're getting extra incentives as that vice president. Company trips. How cool is it? Listen, I travel a lot. We're talking about the Hawaii trip right now. And when someone in the office is, oh, I've never been to Hawaii. Well, I was never at Hawaii until I joined Primerica. I've been to Hawaii 20 times with Primerica. 20 times for free. And we're going to Hawaii, but every single one of you could go to Hawaii. Right? Hawaii is beautiful. You got Maui, you got Kauai, you got the Big Island, you got Lakanuki. You ever go to Lakanuki? That's when you gotta get Nookie. It's Lakanuki. You got Kamanawanalea. It's right by Maui, Kamanawanalea. Anyway, financial independence. But when it's all said and done, the goal is to be financially independent. Because by the way, if you're not financially independent, then you're financially dependent. And you don't want to have someone being dependent. You want to put yourself where you're independent, right? My in-laws live in my guest house. They're dependent on my wife. We pay for everything. I even got a convertible Mercedes. I pay for a cell phone. My mom lives in Jersey. She's on my payroll for 30 years. For 5 years, mom was like, you got to get out of company. It sounds too good to be true. It sounds like a scam. They're just trying to make money off you. Now she's like, proud to be Primerican. Because the opportunity, she sees it now. Folks, you and I have an opportunity to go do something special with our life. And so my challenge is this: max out your compensation, max out your opportunity. Don't let this month go by that you don't go spray your bullets. Go talk to everybody tomorrow. People, I don't know, I don't really know what to waste. Borrow our confidence, borrow our experience. I would say this, man, I'm working with somebody in the Brooklyn office that's making tens of thousands of dollars a month. And he's got me on a game plan. My son came to the meeting with me a few weeks ago, and he says to me, Dad, I don't understand. Like, why did Joe Enser pick you to become successful? I said, well, Joe didn't pick me. I picked myself. He says, what do you mean? I said, you understand, Joe Enser said to me, if you listen to me and you stay focused, it's impossible to fail. If you follow me, you're going to be financially dependent. You're going to make millions of dollars. He goes, yeah, but why did he say that to you? I go, no, he didn't say it. He said it to everybody. I just listened to him. See, our business will work if you listen to him. So he goes, well, how did you get people to come to a meeting if you weren't licensed for 4 months? I said, I'm working with this guy, Joe Enser, who makes $600,000 a year. He's got me on a game plan to make more money part-time than I'm making full-time. And he said, if I follow him, it's impossible to fail. And that in 3 to 5 years, I'll be a vice president making $100,000 a year. And you know what happened? In 3 to 5 years, I was a vice president making $100,000 a year. And so I started recruiting guys like Carlos Salazar and people that recruited Glenn Lee, Doris Chow, Mike Vicario, all these players. And I said, man, if you follow me, it's impossible to fail. 3 to 5 years would be an RP making $100,000 a year. And some of them listened to me. Some of them didn't. Some of them quit and some of them didn't. But the ones that follow the process will become successful. So my challenge for you is the opportunity is incredible. Go take advantage of it. Harvey Grahalis.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Give him another round of applause. Hey, so ironically enough, right? I wanted to recognize this individual. You guys can stay standing, right? And put some energy together for this guy. Not only did he get MVP tonight, that's a pretty daggone big deal, right? He's separating himself. If you look at it, I think, winning is all about separating yourself from the masses. Because you get what I'm saying? What do the masses do? And you ask yourself, well, what is it that they do? They follow. And every now and then you get one that separates itself from the crowd, right? And when I looked at Primerica, there was the masses were going in one direction, but we wanted to lead. And so we started separating ourselves a little bit. And when I look at what you're doing, bro, you're doing the exact same thing. You separated yourself from the pack. Now the question is next week, are you going to do the same thing? Or are you going? What they want to know is, are you going to be there right? Are you gonna hold that spot down? Is that like permanently? You're the MVP tonight, right? Are you permanently gonna hold that down, or are you gonna be like a one-hit wonder? And I know if I was in the crowd and I'm a champion in the crowd, I'm like, shit, his ass better work 3 or 4 times harder because I'm gonna make sure I get that spot. You guys with me over there, right? And that's the energy that you need. But this gentleman went out, right? I mean, he closed business with his upline, or somebody closed business with him, but I don't know. You gotta put this on direct deposit. But if you guys can, oh, you know what happens here? When you get your first check, you gotta dance. You gotta get back to the basics. So hopefully you got your dancing shoes on. You guys are on Zoom. Give us a second. We're not done with training. Our auto is done, right? But we're definitely not done. As a matter of fact, I have a secret guest speaker. This is like the meeting after the meeting that just flew in from Texas. He's on his way to $600,000 in income, right? And you guys are gonna get it. He's gonna pop in any second now, right? The Uber caught a flight or something, but he's not far from up the street. And you give him a second, you guys are gonna get an opportunity to hear some key nuggets from him. But the first check, you got to dance for it. Yeah, we back in live mode. So hey, DJ, you got me. DJ there, so we finna make it rain. And so without further ado, his first check, he got more to it, but it's his first physical check, right? First check here at the office, MVP of the night, the one and only, Joshua Campbell. Is she here? She's not in. All right. This is a lot of pizza money here. But you know what's the coolest thing about Primerica when you get paid? Their checks, right? Everything. You drop them in the bank, baby. They don't bounce, baby. Hey, Jonathan, they don't bounce, baby. You guys can have a seat, right? Hey, so thanks so much for being here with us tonight. And before I let you go, right? I wanted you guys to hear. I had an opportunity. You heard Keith speak a little bit about Gary Cornegay. Right, Gary makes around 2.5. I think he's at $2.5 million. He's on the same position each and every one of us. We had the opportunity to plug into his event, and so what I want to do is just, I think it stretched him. It definitely stretched him, but it took him to another level. And what I want him to do is just share for maybe 3 to 5 minutes really quick. What are some of the key points that he got from being at that school with Gary, which I know it was so much more. We spent about 3 or 4 days. Guys, I got an opportunity to be with, there's a multi-million-dollar earner called Mike Tuttle. Mike Tuttle has this ranch, which is like 375 acres. I don't even know what 1 acre looks like. But he got 375 of them, right? A man had a lake. Who has a lake? He said this, it was about 200 people, 200 regional vice presidents that went there. And he went on the lake and caught over 200 fishes so he could come feed us. And I promise you, it's the best fish I've ever had. I mean, that's the only thing I remember about being in the ranch. Now, but we got to shoot guns. It's called skeet shooting. I thought that was something different, just to be honest with you. And they said, no, but that was fun, right? And he was giving money away for shooting. I guess they're called skeets or something. I don't know what they're called. I'm guessing. Right, the ranch, the house was just beautiful. Who has an elevator at the ranch? As soon as you walk, they have an elevator at the ranch. Like they had these dead animals. I don't know. He knows what the names are of these things, like stuffed dead animals. It's like a whole nother lifestyle, man. I jet skis on it. I tell you one thing. If that's what our future looks like, I'll go to work even 10 times harder. Does that make sense? That was just the ranch. We pulled up in 2 coach buses, right? Not just any coach bus, but it's like those coach. As a matter of fact, it's the same coach bus that the Dallas, the Mavericks driving. So you already know it's nice, it's laid back. It got extra stuff in there, extra TVs. It was just an amazing experience. But the best thing is that we got to cross-pollinate. Right, we got to get an opportunity to meet with some of the other big hitters. There's people that are not regional vice presidents at 110% contract, making over $100,000 at a regional contract. We met people that were at division contract, 60%, that were making $100,000 in income. That makes sense. So without further ado, on his way to put on a $100,000 ring, Mr. Rory Williams.
voice of man going on. Not too hard, not too soft. It's long overdue, but now feeling slam. Everybody has voice of man. ABC, BBD.
Oh my God, listen guys, that event, listen man, you know, you hear talking about Gary Cornegay and everything. Listen, Gary Cornegay, I think he jumped like 14 diamonds over the last like 12 months or something like that. That means he raises his income about like $1.4 million. If you guys don't understand what that means, you know, some of us, we go to work and we get excited like, man, if you get a 3% pay raise, they give you extra like, you know, dollar on your check or something. He raises income $1.4 million, right? And so my mindset going in, you know, this event, he announced the event, and I'm like, ain't no way I'm missing this. Like, whatever you have going on, if I could just like sit at the table, you know, if I could take the breadcrumbs or whatever, I just wanted to be in that kind of environment. Right. And it was like listen, I'm you know, they like Rory's a T, whatever. My brain was hurting. I promise. Like I was like soaking in so much information. I was like, man, this. I was like, wow. It just expanded my mind, and it just raised my vision. Like Harvey was talking about, there was people 4 months in the business at 90,000, 4 years in the business, made over $1 million, right? And what it does, you see, when you see stuff like that, you know it's possible. Right. And you was able to, you know, they say proximity is power, right? Who you are around, you know, they always say, show me your friends and I tell who you are. See, we're able to rub elbows. We're able to like glean and learn from people that we're doing it on a whole nother level, right? You see, we're vice president, but we're not where we want to be. But guys, man, that event was life. I know they announced another one, whatever. Listen, I'm starting to understand what Harvey did, right? In terms of where he sought out knowledge. He sought out people that have what he wanted. Like, thank you so much for bringing Keith Otto. I've heard Keith speak so much times, but every time he speaks, I learn something. All I want to do is I want to be around greatness, right? I want to be around people that's doing this thing on a ridiculous level. And guess what? You see, if I you know, keep putting myself in that environment, I keep doing what they're doing, we're gonna have similar results. See, I left that meeting and I'm like, man, you see, there's like you could win in primary, he could make decent income. But I was looking at Harvey, and he was like, it wasn't our event or whatever, but he was a rock star. Like, you know, and I'm just like, I don't know if it's for everybody. I'm like, I want that. Look at Gary Cornegay to see how the people that how many people thanked him. It wasn't just about the money, the impact they was talking about, you know, the stories, how they overcame everybody that spoke. They were a winner. Right. And everyone, not just they know they're a winner, but their friends, their family know that they're winning. They overcame so much adversity. And I started to kind of think about like some of the stuff that we go through and we complain about and we get frustrated about. And just hearing this, man, there were some stories. I'm just like, man, I don't know if I would have. Oh man, I remember a guy talking about his keeper. I was like 12%. So I don't know. And I'm just like, what level of clarity do you have? Who do you have to be around when stuff is at its lowest, and you know, and how they breathe belief into them, and that's the kind of people, guys. Sometimes we take advantage of the quality of people that we have in Primerica. Right? Think about how many people that you know that's in your life, that's in your circle, that's making $30,000, $40,000, $500,000 a month. That's going to take time out to pour into us, and we're ready to listen to a negative this and that, guys. Like, don't take what we have for granted. You know, one of the things that you know, it's basically it's a scripture that says like, to whom much is given, you know, much is required. And we like Keith was saying, we're in the best country in the world. We're in the best opportunity in the world, man. And it's time for us to go out there and deliver it. Like I left that meeting not thinking, what can I get? Honestly, I was like, what can I give? How can I give back to the team? What is, you know, energy, excitement, information, numbers, whatever it is. I just want to become a giver. Like Mike Tuttle, literally, his whole message about how much he gives. See, I think his ranch was like 300 acres. I don't know. That's probably bigger than Jamaica. So I don't know, man. But it was huge. Listen, guys, they had to have cars and stuff to drive him to other parts of the ranch. And this is the lifestyle that you have. And all he talked about was just giving. I'm like, man. And I thought about it, you know, in the scriptures, I don't know. I've been hanging out with Carl a little, right? And it says it's more blessed to what? it's more blessed to give than to receive, right? See, some of us approach is like, what can I get? What can I get? But if you approach it, what can I give, guys? The more that let's go out there, give back to our community, our family, the team, guys. I'm gonna segue a little. 200 recruits in the hierarchy could happen just like that. I think we're at like about 80, 85 in the hierarchy or something like that. We got another. You see, it may seem like another like 13 days or whatever the case is, but guys, if we go out there and we do 10, if we double digit every single day for the next, for month end, we'll cross over 200 in the hierarchy.
Yeah.
You guys with me? If we go out there and Harvey, have we ever double digit in a day?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Plenty
of times, man. And I remember just coming, you see, like a lot of us, guys, for you guys that are regionals or whatever, he's like, I want to go to regional vice president. Here's the secret. See, when I was in the base, I know when Carl was in the base, when Hannah and Sherwin was in the base, we didn't talk about us going to vice president. We talk about Harvey going to 200. Harvey going. That's what we cheerlead. We cheerlead. We're talking about being number one. We're talking about triple digit recruiting. So you guys think, oh, I want my promotion. No, you see, that cheerlead something bigger than yourself. You see, you should be the biggest ones talking about like let's get this thing over 200 recruits. Let's go. Let's have 10, 15, 20 double digit recruiters in the base. You see, if you do that, if you buy into something bigger than yourself, you see, most people, they'll do more for someone else than they'll do for themselves. I'm going to say that most people will do for someone else. Think about it. If you're a parent in the room, you go out there, you go to a job you hate, you do stuff that you wouldn't do necessarily for yourself. You be like, I could chill. But if your kid needed some shoes or whatever it was, you go out there, you go the extra mile. Man, listen, guys, I'm jacked up, man. Because I'm like, how can I give? Like, what message? What excitement? What energy? See, I'm looking at, like, guys, one of the things I took away is they compete.
Dog falls into canal and starts to drown until a group of dogs to live as one with the animals.
Competed like every now and then, all day. There was one person, artist in front of the room, and he's like, I was the first person to do this. Then April and Monty was like, oh, I was the first person to do this. I was like, man, you ain't never did 150,000 in the base? I'm like 150,000 in a what? Like, we trying to get this thing over 31. I'm like, what? Well, guys, think about it, because you say a rising tide what? Raises all ships. So if we start competing, we'll get more out of each other. I could just go on and on, man. That event was life-changing. They say never miss an event. And some of you guys were thinking whether it was the money or it was like the time away or whatever. Guys are missing it, man. I'm just like, listen, whenever, I'm just like, how can I plug into just about anything? I want to be around greatness. I want to gleam. I want to just like put me at the feet, just like God to me. Right? But man, I just wanted to share that with you guys, right? All right, but I'm going to bring back our senior vice president, guys. But I know with everything in me, guys, we're about to do something incredible for the, like what's about to transpire this month and for the remainder of the year. You see, I know within us, we have what it takes to go over there and do 200 by 200 in a hierarchy on the way to 300 and 400 or whatever the case is, right? See, I believe this is the month that we start to run Harvey's run to $1 million. You see, you're talking about your regional vice president contract, I guarantee if you sell Harvey's $1 million run, you'll be a part of that, right? And I hope you guys don't miss the message, but help me welcome back our senior vice president, near-term senior national sales director, $1 million earner, Harvey Grajales.
I'm more than excited. We have so much to teach you guys. Obviously, it's not going to happen all in one night, but you will learn. I mean, one of the things that you will learn here is how to build a team. And I wanted to share this video with you really quick because I believe you got, one of the things that helped us win is that, and not to toot our own home, but you got to have a big heart. You got to genuinely be willing to put your heart on the line, no matter as much time. Look, people are going to let you down, Jason. I was teaching you this earlier when we were hanging out with Maria, by the way, Maria's Colombian. Give her a round of applause. That's my Karen right there. You got to understand that, you're going to get let down. but you can't stop doing what's right because others will let you down. You gotta have, you know, the genuine ability to, or the conscious ability to really want to help the individual. I know we can make a lot of money, and having the money is cool, Jonathan. Like, man, it's life changing. But you got to have a big heart here. There's going to come a point in time where, you know, life is going to hand you situations. I don't mean to be the bad, but I knew this girl since she was born. I seen her born, 23 years old, right? And right before the meeting, I just get a message, man, we got to pull the plug. She's dead. Like, what? I seen her come in. I seen her go. They didn't have money to help. And one of the biggest things that I want that I think most of us don't see is that we can do so much better with money. That's right. You can have something like paying this is a small price to go out there and be able to help people. You don't even know, Kev, when you're going to need it. There might be something that comes into your life that, you know, that's going to take you out. But I tell you what, if you had, you know, an extra $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 sitting in a mutual fund, might be a little bit easier to deal with that situation. You might be able to, you know, pay for somebody's medical situation. Might be able to, you know, pay for the medicine. You know how many times behind the scenes, right? We, with some of our peers in the hierarchy that are dealing with, you know, situations as far as like cancer, that we were able to say, you know, here's an extra 2 or 3 or 4,000. I don't want no recognition. Just go, because to help. And I mean, that's very little on the scale of what we could really do if we put our heads down and go to work. You can go and build homes in places where there's people that have no water. Who'd want to do something nice like that if you had the money to do it? See, that's being able to give from abundance. Does that make sense? See, we're born into the situation, and in whatever situation you're in, you can't control that. You're born into that situation. But if you die and you're still in that same situation, that means you didn't take action. You didn't get after and go to work. We're so happy to be in this business. I wanted to share this video with you, and I'll come up and talk a little bit about it and bring up Khan Janelle. We'll be finishing up TKB in a second. But I want you to look at this video and really pay attention. Put everything else to the side. Put everything else to the side. It's a very emotional video, and I'll tell you, and you'll see why in a second, right? And I'm gonna ask you a couple questions right after we're done. So if you can please roll the, you know, roll whatever, make it happen, make the little. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Every time when I'm awake, all things that I see, I know it's hard to believe, but it's from the Almighty. When the leaves fall from the tree, every plant that grows on land, when the waves flow in the sea, it's by His command. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. To Allah do I return, paradise is what I'll earn if I work hard and pray to my Lord every day. So Allah, give me the strength, show me the way the Prophet went. Let me hold tight to your robe. Without Islam there is no hope. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Subhanallah
كل day and night. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah.
You can stop it. You can go back to the regular thing. And so you look at this, right? Like, you guys like the video? Mm-hmm. I want to ask you something real quick. You know, I mean, life is going to happen for all of us, right? And so many people are in a position where, you know, they're out there stranded, right? And that shark might be the cancer. That shark might be being behind on rent, might be going through a divorce, might be losing a child, right? And you see how the dolphin comes in and saves that puppy, right? So I ask you, you know, for the people you love in your life, you know, who are you? Who are you going to be for them? What do you see yourself as? What do you identify yourself as? As the puppy? Give me 1 second. Yo, TK. That's me. Yeah. You want to get him? He's right downstairs. Yeah, he said, I got some. Yeah. They're coming right downstairs. He got on this orange shirt. He looks like a Mets fan or some shit. I don't know. He has on like orange and blue or some shit. Yep. No. You're on the right side of the street. Trust me, you'll see him. You can't miss him. Oh, yeah. So seriously, you know, and I look at that and it drives me and it turns me a little bit emotional, you know, because life is gonna hit all of us. It's gonna hit our loved ones, right? So some of them are gonna be that puppy, you know, and life is gonna attack them. It's gonna be that shark. But will you be able to, you know, because you paid the price here in Primerica, be able to go rescue them? You think if something happened right now in the Otto family, he's able to come up there like the dolphin and save them and rescue them? Wouldn't you like to do that for your family? You see, yeah, we talk a lot about money and stuff like that and, you know, recruiting, getting after it and competition and all that is really cool, but there's a bigger purpose to all of this. When you're financially bulletproof and nothing could really like hurt you, nothing can hurt the people you love. You can be that one individual that comes in and saves them. Does that make sense? So you're 100% responsible for where you're at, and you're 100% responsible for what you don't have. This guy right here. Are you a part of his council call? You are. Well, you know what, TK? You know I love you like a brother from another. Man. This is my man right here. But you know, I know you guys are part of the same council call there, and hey, that guy looks good on TV. That guy looks real good. And TK is, I'm gonna bring T. You good? You want to come up and talk to the team? This guy, right? Listen. All right, you guys in for a treat. Since I met TK and Ann, right, we've been able to like see eye to eye. Every time he comes over here, he hits me up. We go hang out. Nice restaurants, nice jazz bar, but more importantly, right, I can speak to him like a brother. You don't speak to me like, you know, again, that's why it's important to be in this business and cross-pollinate and make the relationships, you know what I'm saying? And with TK, he's kind of like guided us through. He's a real person. He's real genuine. You'll hear him when he speaks, right? He runs the AALC pretty much, right? If you ask me, yeah, I'm saying it wouldn't be the same without TK. Like, it just wouldn't be the same without TK, right? He's the life of the party anytime that you go. But I'll tell you one thing that he understands better than any individual, he understands people. And if you can get anything from him, try to connect with him on that frequency where he speaks, all right? Has a monster business, but I didn't get a chance to come out there and see. I mean, I was in your area, but he referred us to this place where we're going to... It was amazing. No, the place was amazing. Okay. It was the area, but we'll talk about it. Oh, we'll talk about that. Woo! Without further ado, my brother from another. You guys, put your hands together, get some energy for T. Yeah! They all got a biz, we always did, and then I had to pay. If you're messing with this girl, then you better be paid. You know why? Take too much to touch her. From when I heard you, that baby by Buster. My best friend said she used to mess with Usher. I don't give a no, I say, still love her. Now I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no bro. I ain't saying she a gold digger, she ain't messing with no bro. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down. Brooklyn. So this is really cool. Really glad to be in Brooklyn. I'll tell y'all why I'm here. So I have 4 kids, and I have a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old. My 19-year-old daughter, she goes to Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, but she's a dancer. She's going to school for performing arts. So she got a summer intensive in Los Angeles. And my daughter, she's kind of like a daddy's girl. So, you know, I do everything with her. So, you know, sometimes it seems like mama, but see, a lot of times it's mama because the men haven't stepped up. See, it really was supposed to be daddy. But mama's had to play so many roles. That makes sense? Now, I come from a single family household, so I can speak on it. Does that make sense? So I'm saying, you know, I love what Joe Ward said on the ALC. He said, I don't know any men that don't take care of their kids. I don't know any. With me? So, you know, I spend a lot of time, girls need their dad. So my little girl, she's 12. She's a good kid, but I bought her a cell phone and I just basically gave the devil in her pocket. And so, you know, that's out of control. So she's been having some issues. So I said, you know, instead of doing all the discipline stuff, I felt like that was pushing her away from me. I said, you're going to go with us to LA and you're going to go with us to New York. So Taylor danced for 2 weeks in LA and I took her, and I'll tell you a story in a minute. And then we flew from LA to New York, and we're here till Monday. And so we just been on this whirlwind daddy-daughter trip. It's been pretty phenomenal. And, you know, the business gives you the flexibility and the freedom to be able to do that. So we have 13 RVPs. I got $600,000 earners. I got a guy making $500,000 underneath me. I've been in the business for 29 years. Now I know what you're thinking. You look so young. Stop it. Stop it. You're embarrassing me. Stop it. Cut it out. But I started a business when I was 21 years old. Any 20-year-olds in the house? Any 20-year-olds? Okay, well, let me tell you how smart you are, okay? If you stick around, right, you know, you be like me, because see, now there's a big separation between the people that went the traditional route, because you make 100,000, I make 50 grand a month, so it take you all year to make 100,000. You know, you with me? Like the difference is like night and day. So you want to stick to it. You don't want to give up. You want to punk out. You want to stay in the game. Suck it up, Buttercup. Do what you got to do. You're going to take a lot of criticism, a lot of ridicule. People going, oh, Prime America, oh, insurance, oh, okay, oh, I'm balling now, though, right? You can't find them then because they know, oh, that insurance thing must have worked out. Yeah, it worked out pretty good. You with me? So, you know, are y'all excited? I'm just checking, all right? Maybe they were mesmerized. That's what it was, Harvey. But anyway, so anyways, I told my daughters, you know, I said, well, look, we're going to go do this daddy-daughter trip, you know? And the thing about me is I don't have no problem spending money. I like to ball out. I love fine restaurants. I like everything nice. So we flew first class to LA. So we get there, and Uncle G, Gary Cornegay, I go to the penthouse on Santa Monica Boulevard. Y'all, it's everything it looked like on Facebook. It is the real deal, okay? You can see the whole city. It don't even make no sense. In his bedroom, the bathrooms here, this is just, you can see all the way to Venice. It don't even make no sense. You see all that Venice Beach. I mean, it's ridiculous, okay? I'm like, Gary, you balling for real, right? And then on that's on one side of the penthouse. Then on the other side of the penthouse, he's got a lower deck with a grill and this type of thing on it. And then the upper deck, it's crazy, okay? Listen, a 1,400 square foot apartment in his building is $9 grand a month. And this joker's in the penthouse on the top. There aren't even buttons on the elevator. There's no buttons. They say, go in, go to the elevator A. You get on elevator A, and you just stand there, doors closed, take you up to Gary's house. You can't even push the button. You pull up, they valet park your car. I can't make this stuff up, y'all. So anyway, so we see Gary the first night. He had his base shop over, we visit, blah, blah, blah. So then the next day he takes us, this is why you win in Primerica. So let me teach you something, right? I'm gonna teach you many lessons, right? So I just turned right and said, you're real pro, you just cut right on. So what happens is you might be at this place in life, right? What's your name? Kevin. So Kevin, you start off at this place in life. You decide you're gonna get with Harvey, you're gonna go to the next level, right? But all your friends, they're not gonna decide to go with you, right? So you like, well, I want to go up here. And they're gonna like, oh, that's cool, but they're not going with you. But guess what? When you get up here, you got new friends, TK, Uncle G, right? You got all these new friends. So now check this out. That goes for family too. Your broke family gonna still be your broke family, even though you decide to rise, right? You see them at the family reunion on holidays, right? They ain't going nowhere, right? And one other news flash for y'all. You can always drop down and go visit your broke ass friends. They're not going nowhere. They can be doing the same thing, talking about the same crap, right? Right. So anyways, the next night, G2 is in town, Harvey. Yep. Which is rare because he lives in Atlanta. That's Gary's son. Y'all know Gary Cornegay, right? Okay. Right. So his son lives in Atlanta, but he just so happened to be in LA because they were just coming back from this Greece trip. And so anyhow, we went to this restaurant called Yamashiro. It's in the Hollywood Hills, overlooking the city. It's just beautiful, y'all. It's beautiful. Zendaya? Yeah. My daughter's, Zendaya, she was there. I told my 12-year-old, I said, "You dining with the stars." You know what I mean? I'm just selling it big, right? So they're ordering out, what's your name? Rachel? Y'all don't be shy now. So Rachel, okay, so Gary and them crazy. They're ordering all these advertisements, right? Now I'm mad at me, right? They got 3 different types of edamame. I think all of them hit the table. They ordered a tiger roll, a dragon roll. They ordered a, A5 Wagyu and something. They ordered all these advertisements. So my dad, we get back to the hotel, my daughter said, "Well, why do you order so many advertisements?" I said, "Because they can. What difference does it make? Hell, he gave you everything you wanted, right? Well, man, it don't matter. This is advertising. It means you want, right?" She's like, "Oh, I guess you're right, Dad." I'm like, "Yeah, who cares?" So anyways, so then he took us to the Salt Bay. Took us to Nusret in Beverly Hills. So, I'm looking for Gary because they had the Maybach when they came to the Yamashiro. The Maybach, Pat was laid back in the back and Kiana was laid back, legs. They got the leg rest come all the way up and the light glows around the back. It's crazy, right? So then I'm looking for that. He pulled up in this doggone brand new Corvette, but it's got a mid-engine, so it looks like a Ferrari. He had the top out with player. I like, Gary just be balling, man. So we go eat there. The bill was $2,600 for dinner. $2,600, right? They brought me a drink, opened up the box, it was smoking anyway. So we just, so this is what I'm doing with my kids. So what are they thinking about LA? They thinking, I love LA, right? They're doing all this big time stuff, right? And so then, Herbert and Simone, well, no, that was afterwards. So then, we went to go see Herbert and Simone Morris, also my friends. And we went to lunch at 208 Rodeo Drive, which is on Rodeo. A buddy of mine told me go there, so okay, I'm gonna go. So they said, "Hey, y'all meet me at Rodeo." And I've got my own money. I just want them to come hang out with me. Man, that bill was $1,200. They picked up the bill, right? And then we went to eat dinner at this other place called Moon Shadows in Malibu. Y'all sitting there with my 2 beautiful daughters, overlooking the ocean, and I'm telling y'all, on a stack of Bibles, we saw 23 dolphins jumping in the water during dinner. My 12-year-old said, "Dad, this is the most incredible dinner ever." I was like, what can I say? I tried to make it, I told the dolphins what time we would be here. It worked it out. So we did that. And so then we fly from United Airlines, we fly over here to New York. We're in the pods where you can lay all the way out, right? First class, all the way laid out, right? The whole trip is first class, right? You had 12-year-old flying first class. My daughter doing stuff I didn't do. That's what you're paying the price for, right? So you can do stuff. So like this trip costs thousands of dollars, man. My wife is going, I'm gonna have to some explaining to do because the American Express card is smoking, okay? It's going up and up and up. But you know what I did? So I tell y'all a couple funny stories. All right, so I want to make sure everybody's dressed right. I'm big on dressing. I want everybody to be dressed appropriate. My daughter said, "What you taking sport coats for, Dad?" I said, "Because I'm TK all day. That's why. I don't know what I might be in this year." See, look here, I'm before you, but look, see, I have the right heads, right? So we go to this mall in Glendale, which is where we're staying, and I want to get them some dresses for this moon. Well, when we flew here, we went to Tavern on the Green on Sunday, right? I dropped $400. It's just 3 of us. I dropped $400 there. Right. I mean, we spent thousands of dollars eating, but I like that. That's my thing. So anyways, I want to make sure they're dressed right. So we go to this really nice mall. It's nice if there's a Louis store. It's nice, right? So yeah, whatever. So we go to this nice mall and I see this store. We walk past the store and I said, yeah, let's go in here because I want to get them a dress because when we go to Moon Shadows, I want them to look right. You know what I mean? I want them to look good, feel good, and be appropriate in the situation. And when we come here and we go to Tavern on the Green, I want them to look good as well, right? So we go in there, and I'm Big Daddy, right? Big Daddy. So I was like, get a salesperson, right? Yeah. Hey, look, we need a couple of dresses. We need 2 dresses. Da 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 da. So I'll get your stylist. So they both go in the dressing room. They share a dressing room because the place was busy. I didn't think the place was that much, Rachel. I didn't think it was that expensive, right? I just didn't think it was. Because I saw a rack that said $48. I'm like, $48. It's not that expensive, right? Knock it out. Do what you want to do, right? So they go get 2 dresses. And I said, well, you got to put something on your shoulders because it's strapless, you know, like she's got this little cute jacket. You got to have something on your shoulders because it's, you know, blah, blah, blah. Get the sweater, da, 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 da. So, you know, my daughter, you know, she's sitting there, you know, so I hand her my marriage, pay for it, you know, because I'm trying to get my phone to work. I can't get my phone to work because I ain't getting no signal in the store. And I'm so my daughter goes and pays for it. And then she tried to show me, I don't want to see the receipt. And I said, now we need some shoes. Come on, whose daddy you want to be? I'm your daddy, right? Come on, that's a good daddy, right? Man, I just, because it's unexpected. What's your name? Norman. They weren't expecting it. So they just got to shop. They're like, oh my God. And so I buy them all these clothes and I'm like, now we need shoes. What would you be thinking? All right, damn. So they're like, we need shoes. They're like, we need shoes. I'm like, we got to get shoes. But we also had a dinner reservation at this other place. So we didn't have a chance to get shoes. We went to Nordstrom. They didn't have what we wanted. So I said, oh, by the way, Taylor, how much was the bill? Oh, it's $9.86. I said, okay. I might think it was that much. Okay. But see, the one thing I try not to do is I try not to put limits on my kids. Right. See, we put limits on our kids. Hey, cut the lights off. You're running too much water. Right? Money don't grow on trees. See what I'm saying? You're putting all these limited beliefs in your kids so they're not unlimited. So I do something. I used to take kids to the movie before COVID. I take, you know, friends' kids, right? And what I do is I go to 7-Eleven and I say, get everything you want. You know what I mean? Because the stuff at the movie theater is just too big and they don't have the nerves. They don't have all the stuff they have. So I say, get everything you want. When I take kids that are not my kids, they look like, get what I want. They go. I say, is that all you want? They look at me. That's what you want? They're not used to it, right? I do the same thing with grown people. I take them to dinner. I say, get what you want. And they go, I have the chicken. I'm like, we're in the steakhouse. Took a friend of mine and his wife. I got a gift card to this really nice steakhouse in Dallas. It's like $300 gift card. And I'm like, I'm not gonna, me and my wife not gonna eat no $300, you know. So I want to bring this. It's an RVP in Primerica, not just a friend of mine. So I buy him and his lovely wife, young couple, you know. And so I said, well, Sandra, what you want? She said, oh, I think I'm gonna get the chicken. It's a steakhouse. Your husband just said you love steak. Well, you know, we don't want. I said, hey, just get what you want. You know what I'm saying? Just get what you want. They just like, I can't. It was just like so blown away. Like you really meant to get what you want. Like you meant it, right? So, all right. So I'm gonna tell y'all my story. All right. I gave y'all this is where I am now. I'm gonna fast forward. I'm gonna go back. So when I got started in this business, I was a little kid. I used to watch a TV show called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. You know, Champagne Wishes and Caviar Dreams. Well, no, you don't know because y'all are young. But anyway, it was this TV show with a guy named Robin Leach. Hey, well, Robin Leach, Champagne Wishes and Caviar Dreams. Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Now, y'all might know MTV Cribs. Y'all might know that. Oh, yeah. Right. Anyways, y'all might know that. Right? Same difference, right? So when I was a kid, I watched a show, and there was a movie called Caddyshack. It's about golfers. And it was like Rodney Dangerfield was in it. It was I always associated golf with rich people. So when I was in high school, I took golf. So it was in me that I wanted. What's your name? Olivia. It's been in me a long time, Olivia, that I wanted to make some money. Long time. What's your name? Josh. I've been wanting to make some money a long time. So the most successful person in my family is my uncle, who's an attorney in Chicago. And I lived with them from 1 year, from 12 years old to 13 years old. I lived with my aunt and uncle. Don't ask me, that's a whole nother story. But anyways, I lived there. I believe it was just the move of God in my life. And my uncle was successful, man. He wore suits to work every day. He wore a lot of Polo cologne. I put some of that Louis cologne on before I came over here, and I sprayed a whole lot of it. See if you can smell me. Yeah, that's good, ain't it? That's good, right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you want to smell it? You want to check it out? You want to check that out? Yeah. So, you know, my uncle, he just wear too much cologne all the time, stuff like this right here. That's what he would do. But he had a Mercedes in the 80s. I didn't even know what a Mercedes was. My uncle had swag, man. He had swag. And I said, man, I'm going to be a lawyer. Well, it's not that I wanted to be a lawyer, but that was the only example of success that I saw. So I'm in college. Like I graduated high school. Nobody bought me one book, 1 credit hour. I'm going to college. I'm going to get it, right? And I'm working at this restaurant, waiting tables, a restaurant called Houston's Restaurant in Addison, Texas. Very good restaurant. And I meet this brother, and he's 25 years old. And he gets out of a 300 SD Turbo. It was black with a gray band all the way around it. That would be equivalent to an S550 today, right? He's 25 years old. So if you saw a 25-year-old get out of a big body Benz, what would you want to know? What you doing? Classroom participation is fine. What you doing, right? So Tony was different. He's still different. He the one to wear the cowboy hat, if y'all know what I'm talking about. The primary guy with the cowboy hat. All right, well, y'all just see, that's my blood. So Tony, he talking parables. What's your name? Valerie, he talking parables. He said, Terrell, the man that knows how will always have a job, but the man knows why will always be his boss. What does that mean? Right? What does that mean? And he was just leaving. I'm like, okay, that was deep. Yeah, that was deep. He's saying, Terrell, rich people hire people and poor people don't. Oh, that's deep. Okay, yeah, what does that mean? You know? So yeah, he just really had my attention. So I got my presentation. This was my presentation. It was a trifold brochure of the magic of compound interest on the trunk of his car in the parking lot where I worked. Why did I tell you that? Because you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. We're trying to impress all these damn people. Look, you want to make some money or what? Right? You want to be down or what? Right? I ain't trying to impress you. You broke. You should be trying to impress me. Right? So don't be walking around apologizing for Primerica. Somebody getting help left right now. Don't walk around apologizing for Primerica. Right? Don't walk around apologizing, backing in the door like we not the bomb. We the bomb. Right, you count them stones in my ring. You didn't come on get the business. You know what I'm saying? I got somebody you need to meet. Right? Don't be apologizing for Primerica, because they're gonna be apologizing they didn't join when you get rich like me. That's right. They're gonna be like, hey, yeah, y'all hung in there, didn't you? Yeah, we did, dog. We did. We hung in there. Let me tell you the one that hurt the most. The one that hurt the most are the ones who quit that you still have contact with. Because you'd be like, hey, okay. Good. There'll be nothing to talk about. Right? There'll be nothing to talk about. I got an RVP, man. I got an RVP that quit. Right? He's a principal at a school. Maybe he make 80,000. 50 grand a month. We ain't got nothing to talk about. Right. I said, what you doing this summer? Oh, you know, my drive the kids and wife in San Antonio. I said, okay. I'm like, I'm getting ready to go around the world. All right, so I ain't want to talk about what I'm doing because I don't want to close, right? So no, listen to this now. Listen to me now. So I got the girls. We've been gone 3 weeks. I get home. I left on June 6th, come back on the 28th. Even Ronell Burns like, damn, TK, what you doing? Like, man, hey, you know, I'm living, right? So I take the girls. We've been doing everything, okay? I told them, look, we ain't got no room in the luggage, and we don't have no room. We done bought all kind of, we ain't got no room. We ran out of room luggage. I'm at to buy some more luggage if we gonna buy something else. I gotta buy a piece of luggage or borrow one from Harvey, something. We ain't got no room, right? Okay, so then next month, we're going to Xcaret in Cancun. So Joe Ward went. He said it was amazing. He went because of Chris. Mm-hmm. He was in Tulum on a trip with Chris and found out about this place. He loved it. He told one of my guys, Steve Coleman, $500,000 earner. Steve went in March. And so I said, I'm taking family vacation. Steve said, look, be coachable. This is my downline. Be coachable. Listen to me. You got to go to this place. I said, okay, it cost me $2,000 a day. We're there for 5 days. It's $2,000 a day, 10 grand, right? So that's in July. August, we got ALC. We got the company trip. Hell, I'm gonna take the kids on that because why not, right? In September, I'm going to the wine country, the wine country in California. So I'm going out there because I went in April. It was amazing. First time going. I'm going back for the harvest for my birthday. It's amazing. Drank a lot of wine, bought a lot of wine. Very nice. So going back for that, and I'm working on taking my wife to South Africa in November. And we told that's something we got going on. But again, you don't get that if you don't get out here and get these prospects. That's right. So you got to get these prospects. You got to take these nodes, right? You got to take these dark houses. You got to take them saying, tell me your name. Kyle, I've been thinking about it, man. Right now, man, I just think I'm going back to school, dog. Man, I know you're trying to help me, man, but I ain't going to be able to do it no more. Mm-hmm. See, and then when that happens, you know what happens when it happens? You second guess yourself. You doubt yourself. You go, is anybody ever gonna do it? Am I ever gonna get over the hump? Right? Am I ever gonna have a team? Is anybody gonna stay with me in the game? And you go, am I stupid or they stupid? Right? That's why this pays a lot of money. Because most people ain't gonna do it. But boy, you can suck it up. And you can stick it out. And you can get better every day. You can do the work. And you can improve. And you can get better. And you can change. Your day's gonna come, right? Your day's gonna come. everybody's an athlete, right? Everybody's a fan of athletes, right? Okay, well, I mean, how long Simone Biles been doing gymnastics? Not 2 weeks,
Right.
not 60 days,
That's real.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you know, it just ain't really coming together, man. You've been in it 2 months. You've been here 4 months, and you just start showing up the 3rd month. Like, dude, like, what do you mean it's not working? Okay, but then you go to college and you don't expect to have no degree because you took 2 classes. But you come here like we owe you something. No, man, it don't work like that. It don't work like that, right? So this is why you can't miss meetings, because there's some people you know right now missing me, right? And they're gonna miss their blessing. But the real team is here tonight. Absolutely. See, the real team is here. We're gonna celebrate the team that's here, right? Because I sat where you sat, and somebody inspired me, and somebody made me keep on keeping on. I cried every convention. I know I look powerful, but I'm a weird I cried every convention. I have a talk with myself at every convention. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be hard. I'll be hard. And then you got somebody go, I come to Primerica. They can't speak English. Come to Primerica. That's what I'm doing this. I cried every. I'm not been this 29 years. Still cried at this convention. Got the thing come out, boom, and all that music playing. Welcome to Primerica, where dreams come true. You know, and then they, this is amazing. I mean, I don't know. Every time I'm standing next to my wife, I can't get hard on it. I just, I don't know what that's about. I don't know. It's some type of emotional trigger. I don't know. But the good news is this, okay? So let's talk about you. Okay, let me talk about me. I've been talking about you a little bit. So let's talk about you. What do you have? Well, think about it like this. Anybody remember Blockbusters?
Yeah.
Remember you drive down there, walk around the store, pick up the newest release, see if they had it, right? Then you go up to the counter, check out. Come on, boo, go home, right? Watch the movie. Then he'd be like, who's gonna take it back? Oh, gotta remember to rewind it. See, that seems so crazy now, right? Just like going to somebody's house when I can Zoom you, right? Right, times have changed, and so you got, I can't, but do you believe I did Primerica without a cell phone? They have cell phones, I started doing. John Lavin said, thank God they didn't have caller ID because he just answered the phone. He had no way of knowing who it was. I know it's hard for y'all to believe that, but that was the world we lived in, right? I remember when I had a beeper, I had a page. I was like, yeah, you need anything, just page me, you know what I'm saying? It was a big deal when I got a page. It was some page, and I had a page. I put on my business, yeah, page me. Trying to get a hold of me, page me, right? You guys got everything, man. You guys got POL with all this incredible training on it. How much game film you watching though? See, I'm from the South. Notice I put that F on. I'm from the South, right? Where football is almost a religion. And football coaches would be in that, they'd be up at 6 in the morning at the school watching game film at 4 in the afternoon. How much game film you watch? How many times you watch Training for Champions, right? How much game film you watch? Then they got YouTube. Oh my God. With YouTube, you ain't even got to read. You could just freaking watch anything. During the pandemic, I learned how to cook everything watching YouTube. Now you can learn how to fix stuff too, but I got a manicure, so I don't fix nothing. I don't do that. I don't do no repairs. Huh?
You watching Gus in the kitchen.
I watching everybody. I learned how to cook some stuff, right? Grill, barbecue, all that. But you got YouTube. So I was watching YouTube the other day because when you watch one video, it releases another video, all this kind of stuff. So I was watching this video, Arnold Schwarzenegger pops up. And Arnold Schwarzenegger had this 10-minute, I'll see if I can send it to Harvey. He says this 10-minute thing where he talked about he was born in 1947 in Austria right after World War II. And he said that it was mainly an agrarian, country where they were doing farming. He said, and my parents wanted me to stay there and be a farmer. But he walked past his store one day and saw a newsstand, and it had an Austrian guy who was a Mr. Olympian, bodybuilder type guy, and he had played Hercules in a movie. And he said, that's what I want to do. I want to be a Mr. Olympian, and I want to be in movies. And he said, that's the blueprint for my life. He said, even though my parents wanted me to do something else, that was their vision for my life. Now, see, I had a very dear friend of mine. He's a barber. He wanted me to be a barber in the shop next to him. That wasn't the vision for my life.
right? That wasn't a vision for my life. So sometimes maybe your parents or somebody else has a different vision for life. Don't go to be your spouse. Don't listen to them. Okay? Right. My upline took his wife to financial independence kicking and screaming, right? She thought we was a couple of yahoos, but he was like, I'm doing it anyway, right? Wall of Famer. But wife wasn't on board at first, but you can't argue with success. Make sense? So what I'm saying is, he said when he did those, they said, how can you do so many reps working out? He's like, because every rep, every set put me closer to my dream. And you got to think the same thing. Every prospect, every card passed out. Kenyon Tyson said on the team, he said, thank God Andrew handed me a card. And how many cards you got? Are you passing them out? How many cards you got on you? Is it a regiment? It don't work every other. I mean, it's got to be consistent, right? So it's the compound effect is what causes it to happen. So it's the simple disciplines versus simple errors in judgment. So you can do the simple discipline of getting 10 cards off every day, right? Well, that's 50 a week. That's 200 a month. Look, we don't serve a God and you say you can't reach out to 200 people and come up with a 0. Right. But you reached out to 2 people and you didn't get nothing. And you walk in, you ain't doing nothing. It don't work with 2. Come on. It don't work with 2. I'm trying. So I'm an NLP practitioner. Yes, he is. I'm a self-development course guy. So anyways, in neuro-linguistic programming is what Tony Robbins does. Yep. So the same guy that trained Tony Robbins, Richard Bandler and John Grinder, I went to go see them 2 years ago in Portugal, and I trained with John Grinder, who was 80 at the time. He's probably working on 82 now. But anyways, so in communication, people either delete, they distort, or they generalize. So I was doing a training with some guys, and the guys, he had recruited 5 directs. I said, great, when you gonna set the appointments? Oh, we got a lot of appointments set. Okay, a lot of appointments set, that's a generalization. Oh, I've got a lot of appointments. You can say to me, oh, I talk to a lot of people. Oh, okay, that's a generalization. I said, okay, well, how many appointments do you have specifically? Right. He said, well, we're getting together on Sunday to set appointments. So really, a lot of appointments was really no appointments. Right. But I knew how to hone down on that communication, right? Let's go. So what I'm saying is that you've got to get a consistent prospecting regimen. The fish is not going to jump in the boat in primary. You're going to have to dive in the water and go get that fish. You have to put that knife in your hand. Go in there, dive in there. You have to put the mouth of your hole and go get that fish, right? Right? You gotta go get it. And you gotta come back with it, right? You gotta go after, you gotta get a consistent prospecting regimen. Because you gotta work to get the right market. Next thing you gotta do, you gotta make sure you look like something, man. You gotta look like something. I joined the business, I was young. Now don't let these people fool you. Now you look like something. And you look like something, right? And you look like something, okay? And you look like something. So make sure you look like something. So make sure you look good. Make sure you look the part, you know? And if you're gonna be casual, you better have a Gucci belt on, some Gucci shoes or something. You better be showing something. You with me? I mean, look like something, be crisp. You know what I mean? Be a business person. Don't be casual. That's right. Because you're talking about business. So we want to be doing business with people that's kind of like, you know, between 35 and 55, you know? So what I did, because I look, so now I look young now, no, but then I really look young men, right? So I always wore shirt and tie. I got my shoes shining. I always wore shirt and tie. So what happens is people make judgments about you in an instant. They're not even aware that they're doing it, right? But if you're talking about business and you look like something, then it's called being congruent, right? So for the ladies, it's like a chick having on a bad dress and a cheap purse. Like, so she thinks she's doing something. She ain't doing nothing. You feel me? You right? 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 Yeah. Right? I think they just mesmerized. I think they're used to me. I think what it is. That's what I think mesmerized. So again, you gotta make sure that you look like something and that you're congruent. Okay? Because you're out presenting yourself on a regular basis. And so you want to look professional in everything that you do. Have business cards, right? Now, I don't really pass out business cards anymore because I'm attractive. People are like, what do you do? I'm like, give me your card. You have one? I say, look, oh, let me see. Oh, I have one here. I'm doing it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just, I always ask my wife, baby, you got one of the cards, you know what I'm saying? But I always, because I'm gonna get your number. That makes sense? I'm gonna get your number. So I mean, hey, well, we with me? But have some business cards though, especially if you're younger, you know? And if you're a guy approaching a lady, have a business card. Absolutely. Okay, that way it's like I ain't trying to holler, right? Because I say, hey, look, here's my card. I want to I would see if I could have a business conversation with you. You say that I would like to have a business conversation with you. Now, if you told a young lady, you gave her a card, say, you seem like a sharp young lady. I have my business. Here's my card. I'd like to get with you and have a business conversation. That makes sense. Now he had put down here, you know what I'm saying? He ain't got no daddy on. They're like, hey, what's up, Sean? Let me get your car. What's up with it? That ain't gonna work, okay? So that's no good. So you gotta have a prospecting regimen. You need to look like something, and you need to self-develop like crazy. Why do you need to self-develop? Because you've been surrounded. Now listen, okay, hold up. Let me talk about my family. I don't know y'all yet. If we talk about your family, that could come across as rude. Okay, so my family is my family is a bunch of people who are not financially successful. My mother told me, the stock market don't work. I said, Mom, how would you know? You ain't never put no money in it to know if it work or don't work. See, my mom loves me, but she's not qualified to give me advice on the stock market. That's right. Don't listen to people that are not qualified to give you advice. Listen to people who have what you want. So I have an incredible marriage. First of all, I'm like a pillar in my church, in my community, right? Love Jesus, right on. All right, so I was a pillar in my community. Got the pastor on speed dial, right? Big time contributor to church, because that's what you're supposed to do. Been married 20 years. This is the 21st year. The biggest struggle on this trip is I just miss my wife. I love these kids. I can't wait to get home my wife, right? I just miss my wife, right? I had a banging business, right? You can have it all. Don't let anybody tell you can't have it all. You can have it all, right? You can have it all. But broke people don't think that. They think it's zero. You have this and don't have that, right? So you got to get around people that have the total package, right? The total package. I am living proof that it exists. And there's many other examples besides me, right? But it's a total package. So you got to consistent prospecting management, look like something. You got to self-develop it. You got to start replacing the broke thinking that you've been indoctrinated, been ingrained in you since you was a child. You got to remove that by putting some new stuff in. And you got to do it. It's called self-development. It's not Coach Harvey develop me. No. He gonna give you some leadership and point you right direction. But you got to work on you, right? It's taken me over 25 years to develop a prosperity consciousness, right? It's taken me a lot of work, a lot of intentionality to be. See, money don't go where it's not welcome. Right. If you got bad feelings about money, it's not coming to you. I have a friend of mine in real estate doing really good in Dallas. She's killing it. But she had lost 3 siblings she likes 3 or 4 of her siblings. And she was a school teacher. And she said to herself, you should just be glad you're here. How can you ask God for anything more? So she said, I had to heal my relationship with money. She said, I had to heal my relationship with money. So you got a lot of stuff that your parents and family around you, money don't grow no trees, rich people, all this kind of stuff right here, right? You know what I figured out? You can't help poor people. That's what I figured out. I'm so sick of poor people, man, you want to be a Republican. I mean, I ain't gonna do it. I'm slow. I don't want to do it. I'm sick, you know what I'm saying? Because the poor is right here. Right. It's right here. It's trying to break that mentality. That somebody's supposed to give you something, or they're not doing enough for you. And you're sitting here in America with everything. And I said, you know how come immigrants do good? The Hispanic people on them, you know why they do good in America? Because they know they in America. Because they came from somewhere else. Right? You think about my man in Florida, Norano. He from Colombia. He know he in America. He getting everything America got to offer, getting it all. But see, we've been here all our life. So it's kind of like asking a fish, so how's the water today? They go, what's water? You've been swimming in freedom and opportunity your whole life, so much that you don't even know you're in it. She's sitting around talking about, well, you know, the office wasn't open. Well, you know, the training wasn't this. Well, you know, the meeting too far away. Ooh, the fast starts to cost too much. Damn it. Well, what do you want? Right? See, what you need to do is you need to read Up from Slavery by Booker T. Washington. They didn't even know how to brush their teeth. Right? They had to farm the land, and when they finished farming land, then go teach school. You went to school in air conditioning. Ain't none of y'all went to school in the heat. What you complaining about? You are in America. That's right. But see, we got to break this poverty thinking. And the only way we're going to break it is to change the way you think. And you got to assault your thinking. And you got to be on YouTube. You got to be reading books. You got to be doing everything you can do to break that thinking. And then what you got to do is you got to get around Harvey, Chris, Mr. Otto, everybody, every leader you can get around, everybody in Primerica, so they can show you that lifestyle. And they can show you the price that you pay is worth it. I guarantee you I started at zero. And ain't nobody gave me nothing. They ain't gave me no district promotion. Ain't nobody gave me nothing. I started at zero. If I can show y'all some pictures of me when I started, you're like, yeah, pretty much zero. Yeah, that's what zero look like. That's it right there. Yeah, I started with nothing. I didn't have a real suit. I had a Bobby Brown suit and a little skinny tie, and my suit had no line and it had shoulder pads. I didn't have a real suit. I tell you, I did have. I had some squabbles. I had some hustle. I had some grit, and I had some desire. Let's go, TK. And I showed up to everything, and I led from the front. My RVP would go to the convention in my rental car and stay in my hotel room. I'm a control freak, so if you driving, we might go somewhere I don't want to go. So I'm driving. You get your own car, but I got my own car. I got my own stuff, right? Leaders should be getting your own room and letting your guys jump in the room with you. I'm talking about, Coach, what we gonna do about the room? I ain't got no room. You're not no leader. That's right. You should be like, Coach, I got 2 rooms. Okay. And so what's your name? Jason. Jason said he gonna get 1, but I got 2. So Jason got room in his room, I got room in mine. Who else need to jump in? We got our guys. We got our 2 slots. And that's how you do leadership, right? Not sitting around telling me, what we gonna do, Coach? Or what we gonna go eat? Come on, man. Come on, everybody. Come on. This everybody's wrong. Let's go. Come on. Right? You in business for yourself, right? What we do is we giving you direction. Okay, I say self-development. YouTube, read books, get around the right people. Now I done told you which direction to go. Now I ain't gonna go with you. And you think about it, you go to church, right? I hope y'all go to church. That's a little different up here. Y'all different. We go to church in the South. Okay. We go to church next time I come. All right. Anyway. Look, the pastor ain't gonna come home and read the Bible to you. Okay, get your Bible. All right. He's not gonna come read the Bible to you. Right? Harvey not gonna come read. We gotta stop. Okay, I know what you're coming up here for. I thought I'd do it.
I don't watch it. He said, keep staying with family.
Oh, you tell me. Okay.
I like this guy.
So the pastor ain't gonna come read it. He ain't gonna come read the Bible for you. So we're giving you the direction that you need to go. And then you need to take that and run with it. You need to take that and run with it. Does that make sense? You got to take it and run with it. And so what you got to understand is this is the greatest opportunity in the world. Think if you deal with the people that have regular businesses with the overhead. I mean, man, when COVID hit, our income almost doubled. I went up 2 diamonds. My number 1 guy went up 3 diamonds. We had $300,000 earners in the worst of times. And it's because of this great business. And I'm just saying it's turnkey, y'all. It's everything you could think you need, but you got to do the work.
That's right.
We can't do it for you, but you can do it. You can totally do it. You just got to pay a price, right? Yep. Hey, man, I'm doing them planks with my trainer. That's a price. We do core work. It's like 15, 20 minutes. When I get done with that, I'm like, so we done? He's like, no, we just getting started. I'm like, oh, God. But you got to pay a price if you want to be fit, if you want to be healthy. You got to pay a price. If you want to win this business, you got to get that prospecting regimen. I'm going to repeat myself. Repetition must learn. You got to get a prospecting regimen. Get a prospecting buddy. That look like your buddy right there. Get a prospecting buddy, right? Y'all together. Okay, get a prospecting buddy. That's your buddy then, all right? Get a buddy, right? That's anybody. That's okay. Get a prospecting buddy, right? Get a prospecting buddy. And y'all, you get your names, you get your numbers, and y'all stay on it, man. You got to have a foxhole buddy anyway. You get it, you stay on it. You got to look like something, right? I ain't saying you got to, look professional, right? You can wear a Primerica golf shirt, some slacks, maybe some jeans if they're nice. No sagging, please. Okay, that's none of that stuff, okay? But look like, now this brother right here, what's your name in the red shirt? Rory. Okay, stand up, Rory. You look great. So he got the RVP shirt on. Okay, he looks good. That's business casual. Okay, he's congruent. I'd roll with that. Okay, nothing less than that. That's it. That's the standard. and up, okay? Nothing less than that. He looks great, okay? Because I wear the Primerica golf shirt and the slacks and the same type of shoes he got on, like Cole Haans, right? Same type. Yeah, I got like 5, 6 pair of them, right? So I'm saying, so just something, you just look like something at all time. I don't look raggedy when I go to the grocery store. Why? Because there's people at the grocery store. You don't go to the grocery store looking all crazy. You know what I'm saying? House shoes on, just looking, I don't do that, right? Because I'm always in business. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. I'm always in business. So look like something and self-develop like crazy. Crazy. You got to work on you, man. I wrote a chapter in the book with Lisa Jones, and my chapter said, when you get better, it gets better, right? When you get better, it gets better. See, what happens is the world is not going to change for you. You're going to have to change. See, because I self-developed so much, I'm able to focus on my family because I got my shit together. I'm sorry I had to say it that way. I had to make an impact, okay? I got my own shit together so I can focus on my wife and my kids because I got it together. So church 1 minute and shit the next minute. Work with me. I ain't delivered from cussing. But I'm just saying. So, but watch what I'm saying. See, because I got it together and I worked on me and I feel unbelievably good about me, that I can focus on other people. Because I don't need you to make me feel like I'm important. I don't need you to make me feel that I'm valuable. I already know that. So because I know that, I can focus on you. And I don't have to take everything so personal. Does that make sense? See, you walk around and everybody's upsetting you. You're insecure. So you need to work on you. Okay? So you can be able to respond to people better. Well, I don't need they talking to me crazy. Hold on, man. Maybe they're not talking you crazy. Maybe I want you to listen to what they're saying. It's not even about you. Listen to what they're saying. Here's another one. I learned this from Ace Acevedo. I like giving him credit for it. You ready for this one? It's a jewel. It's a gem. I'm going to give it to you. You ready? I'm going to drop it like it's hot. You ready? I'm going to bless somebody. You ready? I'm going to drop it in your spirit. Are you ready? Listen to understand, not to respond. Listen to understand, not to respond. You so ready like jump rope. You trying to, no, you're not listening. That's why the communication is breaking down, because you can't wait to, you want them to stop talking so you can say something, because you're not listening. So you're going to have people problems, right? That's why, so watch this. If you keep recruiting people and they keep leaving, only common denominator is you, something wrong with you. Something wrong with you, right? The only common denominator, well, that happens. My friend Ken Thompson said when I joined the business, I started from New York. He said I spoke fluent sarcasm. So I wasn't good at keeping people around, right? He said I wasn't good at keeping people around. And he realized he had to make a change so he can keep people around. Make sense? So I'm saying, look, in every way, every day, you got to get better and better. And I'm telling you, man, it's worth it. It's worth it. When you get, look, my daughter go to college, I write a check, no payment plan, write a check. No payment. She got $73,000 a year. I write a check. No payment plan. Let's go. Right? My daughter said, Dad, one payment, huh? I said, how we do it. You got it like that, Right? Right? My daughter got a platinum American Express card. Hey, in case you need to do something, right? Right? See what I'm saying? See, now let's talk about spoiling kids. Let's talk about that. See, you say, oh, well, how we want to do it? I don't want to spoil them. This poor people talk. Somebody getting blessed right now. This poor people talk. I'm about to teach y'all poor people talk about kids. Oh, they ain't spoiled. Well, little Buffy has a drop top convertible at SMU, and she gonna get out of college and run the company. Right? So is she spoiled? I mean, they all go on ski breaks to Aspen, so are they spoiled? See, you're just speaking out of poverty. You don't know what you're talking about. See, my kids, they just say, Daddy, can I have this? And I'm like, yeah, get what you want, right? Give what you want, right? It ain't even no thing. I had to check my son about a month ago because he said, well, yeah, we was going to church and his shoes didn't match. He's like, well, you ain't buy me no shoes. Like, whoa, hold up, player. I said, don't be mad because your sisters asked for something, they get it. You get whatever you ask for. You ain't asked me for no shoes. So you can't be mad you ain't got no shoes. That's on you, right? I don't know what you want. I mean, you got to tell me. Dad, can I get some shoes? And the answer is, of course. But I mean, I ain't a mind reader, right? But again, what do you teach your kids? So my kids, they don't think in terms of lack and stuff. They don't think like that, right? They don't think like that at all. We just do our thing. We went to Hawaii with the company, and we went. This funny story. I'll wrap up. Okay, so we go by we're on the Big Island. So we got there a couple days early, we stayed in another place. Then we go over to the Wakaluka, whatever thing's called. So we drive past this helicopter. They said Blue Thunder. I said, let's check out the helicopter. Kid said, okay, Dad. So we pull in there, got this big Suburban I rented. We drove all over. That was fun. And so anyways, I pulled and I told everybody, y'all wait, let me go check on it, right? So I go and check on it. And so I asked the lady, said, okay, so how much is the helicopter? And she's like, I said, how many people will a helicopter hold? She said, well, it'll hold 7 people, 6 plus the pilot. Well, in my family, it's 4 kids. And me and my wife, that's 6 of us. I said, okay, cool. How much is it a person? She said, $280 a person for 55 minutes. I said, okay, all right, good. Well, what do you have available? And she said, we got 2:30 and 3 o'clock. I said, we'll come back at 2:30. That is $1,800. That right? $1,800 for 55 minutes. This at the beginning of the trip. So I get back in the car. I said, we're going to go at 2:30. Everybody's excited. Marty said, how much was it? I said, it's affordable. Don't worry about it. Right? It's affordable. So, you know, Hawaii is expensive, and that's what I hate Primerica people. Primerica people complain about what stuff costs. I hate that. You're in Hawaii, man, just ball out. Forget about it, right? What you worried about? Just ball out. It's going to be a minute before you come back. Enjoy yourself. Ball out. Right? That's how I roll on everything I do. I ball out. I ain't worried about all that, right? I went to the hotel over here in Sheridan, Brooklyn. That hotel room was this big. I said, oh, never. Oh, no. I said, we couldn't even sell luggage down. I said, what? I went down and said, look, you got to give me a bigger room. The lady said, what's more money? I can give a damn about the money. I need a bigger room. She gave me a big old room. It's 2.5 times. I said, okay, got a sofa in there, sink. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. It was like $1,200 more. I don't give a damn. I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not an option, right? You ain't doing that, right? We're going to ball out. I ain't worried about all that, man. We worry about $1,200. Man, $1,200 is an $80 app, but everybody worry about all that, right? We got money anyway, so I ain't tripping like that. That's where you want to get.
That's right.
Where you ain't tripping. So the girls over there, oh yeah, this is better, Dad. Yeah, I know, it's way better, right? But they just living their best life, man. Best life. I mean, this been a whirlwind tour, all this fine dining and all this stuff. And then we go to Mexico next month and it's 5 diamonds. Joe Ward said the food is incredible. My boy was like, you gotta listen to me. You can't go nowhere else. So the kids living their best life. And then I'm gonna take them to the company trip. Who wants to be my kid? I'm just kidding, right? You hear me? Right? Like my kids, come on, right? This is good stuff, man. But that's why you work hard, right? It's why you work hard. And I just want you to know, man, when you're in a position to give your kids everything they need, and then you can really supply their wants as well, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. So I'm excited to be your teammate. I love Harvey. Thank you, Harvey. Yes, sir.
Hey, so do you guys have a good time or what? So I know, hey, TK, this is actually like our 3rd, 4th meeting in the office. We just start. I know Texas is wide open. It ain't like that over here, right? I broke a few laws tonight, right? It is what it is. But hey, listen, hopefully you got something from that. And I always tell you guys good? Thanks. I always tell you guys, like, we learn how to build the business in the environment. Notice we're in the financial services business. We hardly talked about, anything else. You learn how to build an environment. You want a room like this. You want an agency, a brokerage of independent distributors, right? Because you want to be in what? Distribution. Hold on, you want to be in what? Yeah. Well, we gonna master this. I know a lot of you guys are new. You're just getting in here. You've been in Zoom and you think you could keep mute and you ain't gonna interact. No, this interaction over here. All right. When I ask, you reply right, and if you don't, we got a bouncer in the back, right? Yeah, he'll take care of you. And so the goal is. Right now, the team is around probably 64, 65 IBAs. Joshua just picked up an IBA. Number 82 tonight. Picked up another teammate tonight, right? That's why you want to get on that seat right there. And so the goal is, we'll triple digit this month. But you see, we don't want to just get to, 100 to say, hey, man, we've been at 100 before, Mercedes. 100 is like, whatever. We do that. We hold the #1 record in the state of New York. So you know, as long as Primerica's been in New York, right? Which I don't know how long that's been. We have the state record for recruiting. I think it's how much is it? 155. We've held it down for 1 year. But records are meant to be what? Does anybody want to make history? See, last time we went out and we broke the record, Carl and Janelle popped out of that. They're at over 100,000. Hannah and Sherwin popped up. They're over 100,000. You know, Rory's on his way to 100,000. I think, you know, I think there's a correlation with that. I think if we go out and push this thing to 200 plus IBAs in the month of July, I mean, it's half price. Why don't we double the work ethic? Does that make sense? And now, from there, you can find your hero. See, I don't want to talk about who's the next Rory or who's the next Carl or who's the next Sherwin. What I want to invite you to understand is that if you go out there and you sell out to this, you're going to find the next Rory, the next Carl, the next Hannah or Sherwin on your team, so that you can position yourself to override and have what? Passive what? Income. Passive income. Next week, we'll be right back here live. I'll tell you what, you see this little ring right here? Woo. Somebody's gonna be getting crowned next week and have this ring on their finger next week. So next week it's gonna be, we talking about doing this thing up. We're gonna be celebrating 100,000. So one of your lucky teammates is gonna be putting on their $100,000 ring. It's gonna be amazing next week. You don't want to miss. I mean, this is like, you know, it's like when you win that championship. You know what I'm saying? And we'll have that. We'll also have a guest speaker, Mr. Ronell Burns. All right. And I'm just saying, man, we here with something to prove. Cammy, I love your leadership, right? I love what you got going on. Shout out for helping out Joshua get that IBA. Norms, I know you're in the midst and behind the scenes working on that. So shout out to that. But guys, we got to stretch, right? Again, there's guidelines, then there's success lines as well. So we got to make sure we push this thing to the success line, right, Chuck? You got to make sure you pushing yourself to get 30 by the month of July, right? And I mean, you're fully licensed. You're fully licensed, so let's go ahead and get that RVP contract. By show of hands, right? If you're fully licensed in here, stand up. Fully licensed in the room, stand up. Fully, all right. So right, these guys, these are the individuals that are on track to become, they're closest to becoming regional vice president. All right. I mean, so before I close, just want to come to you real quick and ask you real quick. When's your regional vice president day?
August 30th.
August 30th. All right. So we got some work to do. All right. Give her a round of applause. That's Mercedes Henry. When's your regional vice president day, champ? December the 31st. All right, cool. You bringing in the new year hot. I got you. Alvin, all the way from Georgia. October the 1st. Give her a round of applause, right? Then you got Cammy in the back. September the 21st. Garfield Gray. December the 24th. All right, Merry Christmas. You're on December 30th, and for the Zoom, because, you know, what's your name? Who? Oh, Lucien. I mean, I messed it up. Lucien's going December what? 3rd. December the 3rd. So do me a favor. If you're a real friend hold friends accountable. Does that make sense? Real friends hold real friends accountable. Don't just sit there and let them say, hey, you're going to do something. Hey, I'm going on this diet. No, man, here, man, have a chocolate cake. Here, have some more. I thought you were my friend. These guys really want to fight for it and become financially independent. If you see, it's your job as a real friend. If you see them slacking off, if you see them taking off, if they're out, watching, sending you videos, why are you sending me videos? That must mean you hit your regional vice president contract. Why are you watching the movie? That must mean, does that make sense? Keep them uncomfortable. Because they say rising tides raise all ships, right?
Yes, sir.
Anybody interested in going to RVP?
Yes, coach.
And listen, thanks so much for being patient with us. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. You guys are the real rock stars, because it's harder to do what you do than to do what we do. Trust me, I ain't seen nobody fall asleep tonight, so you guys did, except, no, I'm just playing. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. God bless you guys. Stay safe. We'll see you next week, same time. Appreciate it.